fate is before you. Choose wisely. Relationship deprivation.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is you strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have. Power deprivation.
His money doesn't go to his child. His money goes to the system.
Personal accountability is one of those things that just goes across the board.
It's none of his business how it's being spent. Just pay the money and we'll take care of the rest.
I see why people walk away. I see why dads walk away. And it's the system. It's the system that's driving them away.
I let her know I ain't got no money for no Jordans. You call your dad or do whatever you gotta do. You can get 2 pair a year, that's it.
The non-custodial father has rights. So the mother just jumps up and says, you can't see your child, I can't go see the child.
When he said that he was going to take all of my custodial rights away, I was literally devastated.
The family court is one of the most dangerous courtrooms, the most dangerous courtroom in the world.
This makes it near impossible. I can't understand how most guys can even begin to approach the situation.
When a woman gets pregnant, one of these basketball players, baseball players, wealthy guys, it's called a cash register. Because that's what that child is, it's a cash register.
There is no accountability. You write that check or you go to jail.
Affection deprivation.
Women are noticing that their men are crossing the borders to find happiness, romance, or even just somebody to have a good time, hang out with. I come to Brazil, I sit down at the table, I order food. Young lady places a drink in front of me, opens my straw, puts it in my glass, and I'm chilling. Doesn't make her less of a woman, doesn't make me more of a man. It's just that we have different roles in life, and she knows hers, and I know mine.
Several years ago, I read an article from Essence magazine in regards to African-American men going to Brazil.
There's been a number of articles since the Essence story.
The article was not pleasant at all. It was quite negative.
The article is racially motivated, and to me it's just another attack on the black man.
I feel in conversating with other guys who have friends you here, you should come here and experience what she has to offer Brazil.
People that write the article say that they don't understand why
we come to this place or any other place or bias because they've never experienced it.
Every black man should come down one time before you be put in this earth to see how this culture treats you. It's heaven.
You don't want to come down to Rio. I said, because if you do, you're going to come back thinking, how can I get rid of her? You know, and I just said, that's, I can't put it to you wrong. I said, if you married and you love your wife and you're satisfied, I said, don't come here.
You're looking for cheap sex with pretty girls. I think to a certain extent, you're almost like a predator.
There's nothing but lies, and it should not have been accepted by the black women. That article is to bridge the gap between you, and that's the reason that article came by.
It's not an issue until the black man starts doing it.
I agree.
Pain. I've been there, locked up inside my head, broken from fear, illusions, disappointment, and hopelessness. Who heard me in my silence, where being a man means nothing? Despair. I've been there too, desperately seeking answers for the questions associated with manhood, hills and valleys, too bleak to compare. Stress, suffering in a utility silo, no comfort, no security, no freedom, no justice, just do it for others. Challenges, who will help me break the challenges? Lost in the vortex of darkness, hopelessness, fear, and abandonment. I've been there too. I've been there too. Take the next step to your destiny. Join me in this fight. Walk forward. Deep breaths. Head held high, men. Come join me, men, in the winds of time. Stories, hopes, visions, purified in the fire. I'm not a superhero, and I'm not the Reverend Knight. I'm here to help you. Join me, men, in this fight. Break the chains of your mind. Let's do it now. For now is all we have. Fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
The itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand. I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light. Know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave. Girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas. No, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds. Now it's top floor. All these big gets on her wrist. VVS is on her neck. Make it spinning, I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back end. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. for my first cake. Then we hit 100K. $500,000 on the way, then $1 million on the way. Eating good, full plates. Eating good, say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday. I can't waste no way. I can't waste no play. Okay. My girl, whoa, whoa, sounding like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she dip. All these big gas on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. All these big gas on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her, cause she all mine. All these big gas on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and don't stress. Spend it on a challenge, cause she all mine. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend.
Hit that like button. Go ahead, do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you.
Destroy.
All right, guys, we're about to chop it up in a minute. This is going to be a powerful show on tonight once again. But before we start, guys, I want to thank everyone that has been donating to the channel. I want to thank all you brothers for being so kind and being so meritorious and helping me get to 4,000 subs. But more than that, I want to appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in to this show, because you could be using your time to do something else, but you decided to tune in to the Kosher Clinician as I seek and attempt to drop some fire for your mind. Now listen, guys, I created a concept, as I created many concepts, called RAT.
One of the concepts I created on yesterday is called the simp surfer. And the simp surfer is a type of rat because he's been browbeaten and he believes he has no power. But I decided to do this show, and I'm going to have my special guest on in a minute, guys, because I want to share with you, men, is that many times you have learned bad behavior to the point that you compromise your power. And because you compromise your power, you've diminished yourself to a rat. And see, watch this. The rat is not necessarily the woman. The rat is you. Because some of you guys have become rats because you give her your resources without making her earn anything. You give her free attention without making her earn anything. You give her your time without making her earn anything. And the last thing that she's going to give to you is sex, and she expects you to settle with her after she had all her fun. And see, you got to understand, men, that you are more than just a rat. Resources, attention, time, and also a commodity for sex. Because see, what men don't understand, even though there's a biological need for men to want sex, watch this, women, they love sex too. So, she's not doing you any favor if she's giving you sex because she loves sex. It's a mutual exchange. But see, some of you men think, that, they're damsels in distress and, they don't really love sex. No, they love sex as much or more than you. And so when you give her your body, you're benefiting her. But after you give her your body, you got to ask yourself the question, what is she going to give me in return? And that's the problem. So the whole power or the whole topic for tonight is that you should never diminish your worth as a man by becoming a rat. Because see, what rats do, guys, they just keep going in wheels over and over again, not going anywhere, guys, and they're not saying anything. So the question for tonight is, are you a rat? And see, rats are just not, black men. You see the mouse on the thing, and I call that Raekwon rat. But then you got Hector the rat. He's a Hispanic rat. And then you got Jim Bob the rat. He's the white guy. And see, rats don't just impact black men. It'll impact all men. Many men in the West have become rats. White men, black men, Hispanic men. They all have become rats because they've been conditioned to see themselves only as commodities instead of seeing themselves as men. But see, there's an antithesis to becoming a rat. I like what one brother said earlier, you got to take that and flip it and become a star. Because see, being a rat is not advantageous to your mental health. Being a rat is not even advantageous to your psyche. Being a rat is not advantageous to your well-being. Because as I said before in the past, guys, there's a king inside of every man. Every man has a king. Now watch this. I'm not saying that every man is a king, but every man have king-like qualities that reside in him. But when you give that power away, you become a rat. Resources, attention, time, and settlement. She wants you to settle after she had all her fun. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Now listen, guys, I'm gonna get right deep into this conversation. Black Ram is gonna be on in a few minutes. But the rats is something you don't wanna be. You wanna be a man. You wanna always be a man. You wanna flow like a man. You wanna think like a man. You wanna set things on your own terms, not on her terms. But see, watch this. If a woman is a good woman, if she's a righteous woman, you're not gonna have to worry about anything. Women have been conditioned to be wives. Women have been conditioned to honor, respect, and serve their men. They don't have a problem. They know how to fall in line. But see, many modern women, including white women, Asian women, mostly white women and Sadie sisters, they have conditioned a lot of their men to be rats. And see, anytime other men or women begin to speak out against rat behavior, they're trying to shame you back into silence. They'll say, well, your mom is black, and who hurt you? And they'll say crazy stuff like that. And, and in the end, guys, you got a lot of men that got red light behaviors, because they're all on the internet trying to tell you what to do. And guys, many of them are simp surfing.
These men are coming together. They must be stopped. Who hurt these petty fools? Their mama is black. Who hurt them? They must be gay. I must go cause confusion.
And, and the typical rat, guys, is Raekwon the rat. Raekwon the rat, he wasn't raised with masculinity or authority, but Raekwon the rat, he was raised by his mom. He doesn't know any better, because anytime you try to tell him that many of these modern women don't value him or respect him, he'll say and get mad at you and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And you keep running your mouth, there's going to be problems. And you said, what do you mean by that? He said, keep running your mouth and keep talking. And then before you know it, Raekwon the red will tell you guys it's on.
Yeah, put chain on the walls on my mom. Maybe broke the mom. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back. He look like gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey.
Yeah, that's what Raekwon the red will tell you when you hold them accountable and say, you got worth, you got inherent value, because Raekwon the rat don't want you to be a man, because Raekwon the rat has never seen true masculinity. He's a rat. He's been conditioned to give his resources away. He's been conditioned to be a gynocrat, and he's been conditioned to give his power away because he doesn't know any better. Listen, I told you guys on yesterday that there's 3 concepts that's a byproduct of negative socialization, which actually leads to assimilation. In the clinical world, guys, we call it introjection, meaning just like women and children, they tend to absorb their environment. From introjection, guys, it turns to internalization. They begin to internalize the negative thoughts that are going on inside their head. And then the last state is called identification. Many of these men, white men, black men, Hispanic men, have become rats to Western gynocrats. They're rats. They think like rats. They don't know how to act like a man, but they think like rats. Resources, attention, time, and the last one is settlement for the sake of sex. And, you're not getting fair exchange because you're not getting what your grandfather and what your great-great-grandfather got in the past. Those men got very chaste women. Those men got women that were honorable women. Those men got women that respected and honored men, tradition, community, and also family. But you're not getting that now because most modern women, and starting with white women, were raised not to honor and respect anything. See, sisters were on code years ago. But see, they drunk the Kool-Aid too because they thought that they were being oppressed at the macro level by their men. But see, watch this. Men never had power to oppress women. We never had power to oppress our women. Now, does it mean that there were not issues at the macro level, at the micro level where we had domestic issues? Sure. All ethnic groups have had domestic issues. Indians, white men, black men, Asian men, all men have had domestic issues. But when it comes down to policy making, black men never created policy to oppress anyone. Black men were actually arbiters of pain themselves. But in the meantime, I think some of the guys said my mic is low, so I hope everybody's saying my sound is low. Guys, is my sound low? If my sound is low, guys, I need you to hit 1. I hope it's not low, but in the meantime, shout out to my man, Gregory Scotland. Gregory Scotland always showing love, Gregory Scotland. Gregory Scotland said this. He said, Coach, I think there are many of the male content creators that need to be very alert because I'm hearing this pushback for saving the black community by female content creators. Yes, sir, I've seen it, brother. I was just looking at some content a few minutes ago before I started this show. And we are also seeing men agreeing with them. Well, they can agree. My philosophy is this. Men should do what's best for them. Men should do what's best for them. See, we always talk about this nebulous community thing when it's beneficial to those that never did anything to benefit men. The last election told the story. The last election saw women vote for policies that were not advantageous to black men, black family, or black community, or the black community. But see, now some want you to come back to the table in the spirit of indentured servitude. It's always men got to come back and be the cleanup men. And what men are saying, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm going to do what's best for me. synonymous to what my man Ingram said, relationship capitalism, meaning you want to get the best bang for your buck. So watch this, Greg. I am aware of it, and many men are aware of it. But however, the verdict is out, and men are beginning to do what's best for them. If they deem saving a community to be viable, then so be it. But see, here's the problem with that. The community, or this so-called community, black folks don't think the same. My skin folk is not my kinfolk. We're not a monolith. We never have been a monolith. So when people say community, well, how can you be a community with a bunch of people that don't think like you? They are not from my tribe. And I might have to do a show on that. They are not from my tribe. They might look black, but they're not from my tribe. When we came here from Africa, we didn't think alike. We didn't come from the same religions or backgrounds. Some of us did, but many didn't. So when people talk about this whole concept called community, and then black men got to ask themselves the question, what is it in for me? And what black men are saying is that there is no benefit. There's no benefit because the verdict is already out. So based on that, Gregory Scholars, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Be the new sponsor of the stream. So in the meantime, guys, we got my homie Black Ram. He is in the house. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I got my man Black Ram in the house, and we're gonna chop this thing up. But in the meantime, guys, Gregory Scotland, brother, you are the new sponsor of this stream.
Yes, sir.
Black Ram, I want to ask you a question, man. I came up with a concept called RATS, right? Mm-hmm. And the concept or the acronym RAT basically means resources, attention, time for the settlement of something called sex. You know, they want you to be a rat. And see, and see, watch this, Black Ram. You know, it ain't just black men that are rats. You know, white men are rats. You know, Hispanic men are rats. Asian men, they're all rats because they're being reduced, Black Ram, to the common denominator without getting anything in return. Now, Gregory Scholar asked a question. You always talked about a term, phrase, the community. Many asked the question, should black men give their servitude again to save a community that have not invested in black boys? They have not invested in men. They just want you to, you know, they're in trouble now. Now they want you to just be slaves and drag your knuckles again and say, and come back to something that has no redeeming value. What say you, Black Ram, about this whole shenanigans and this whole foolishness? Because see, watch this, Black Ram. There are a lot of simp surfers. I came with another term called simp surfing. And if you know anything about the Silver Surfer will go out throughout the galaxy absorbing the energy from the cosmos. And see, there are a lot of simp surfers, Black Ram. They tell them, man, you need to protect the community, you need to come back. And watch this, Black Ram. Watch this, Black Ram. Many of them are this.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
Yeah, simp servers, Black Ram. Yeah, Black Ram, simp servers don't think they don't think they have a choice. They think that they've been commissioned to save the community, you know, and the lead henchman for saving the community is Raekwon the rat. You know, Raekwon, he's the lead rat. You know, he's the lead rat guy because you look at the thumbnail, Raekwon is the one that's been commissioned to do it all. But what do you say about this nebulous thought or this altruistic thought as it relates to black men putting their lives on the line to save a community that here recently never gave a care about them or their needs?
It sounds to me like the classic baby mama situation that most black men face. Except on a macro scale. So anybody who's had a baby mama or knows somebody who has a baby mama or heard about a baby mama knows this. When the kid is young, she wants your money, buy Pampers and all this other stuff. And then she says she don't really need you in the house as a disciplinarian. Just bring the damn money and shut up.
Right.
About what's going on in this house. You don't have no concern. Don't even try to discipline the kids. But then when little Pookie, little Ray, little Thuggo get about 13, 14, 15, he get big. He gets snappy at the mouth like his mama, impulsive, undisciplined. Now you got to go to your daddy's house and you deal with him.
Right.
Same thing here. The matriarch, the melanated female, is the leader of the community who said that you weren't needed and weren't necessary. Now that the community is being destroyed and there is no community, now they want you to step back in and do something, clean up the poor choices that she's made. And any man that's smart, in my opinion, is going to stay away from the community and stay away from the BW. Don't take care of her children. Don't discipline her children. Don't go and try to straighten up the community, because in doing so, you might meet your demise. And what I'm going to do is laugh at you, because you have no business trying to fix the mess that she created.
Right. Black Reb, what do you say to those that say that, black men created the problem, they created the issue? Would you say that's a fair assessment in your opinion?
Oh, not at all. If we go back to the Welfare Act, I believe it was Lyndon Baines Johnson who signed the Welfare Act, and the BW was given a choice. Daddy government, the Europeans said, hey, we don't like this family thing you got going on here. We've systematically have kept the men out of jobs, out of corporate America, but we have to do a little bit more. And I see you struggling, Miss Maybelle and Miss Bertha. This is what we're going to do for you. You kick your man out of the house here. Kick him out of the house. Make sure you don't come back. And we'll give you medical care. We'll give you food stamps. We'll give you cash benefits. And we'll give you this house that you want to sit in for pretty much free. But all you have to do now is tell that man you don't need him. You don't want him. Kick him out the house. You can have his babies. And we'll take care of those babies. But you don't need him, though.
Right.
And she said, you know what? That sounds good. We got the government. So we don't need, see, here's the thing that we don't say. It's not that she don't need no man. That's not what the black woman is saying. No. Because we know she needs the government. The black woman is not saying she doesn't need a man. I know that you've heard that.
Right.
I know it. I know we've all heard it, right? But that's not what she means. Because the man who she needs is the man who takes care of her, which is the European. What she really wants to say is she doesn't need a black man. That's what that means. And the reason why she doesn't need you, because she has her needs met by baddie government. And we said, okay, cool. This is what our response to that was. Okay, cool. We gonna freak on you and we gonna go on our way. Response to that, we gonna pimp on you and go on our way. Response to that, we not gonna marry you because that's not what you want. We gonna go on our way. And she said she got the community. She said she can raise them kids by herself. She don't really need you unless she can collect child support from you. She don't need you for anything.
Right.
So after decades and decades of that, also decades and decades of her making the poorest choices in men ever possible, after decades of that, now you have the community. So whose fault is it? It's her fault because it was her choice. She's the one who said that she doesn't want that black man. She was given the choice and she made it. And she was given the power to make that choice and she did. Now you have what we see in the communities and it's all her fault. And here go the thing. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go out and say this. It's not some of the black man's fault. It's not all of the black man's fault. It's not a little bit of the black man's fault. I'm telling you here today, it's all her fault. Because she's the one who said she didn't need you. She's the one who said she didn't need a father to rear her children. I heard somebody say as simple as this: you might not need a man, but them children do. But she said, no, to hell with that. I don't need any of that. So she wants to be the grand matriarch. That's what she's done. That's what she's been doing. Now the community is in ruins because she can't properly raise children.
Right.
She can't discipline the boys, and she does not discipline her girls. In fact, she grooms her boys to be thugs and her girls to be hood rats. That's just what it is. To be thotty dotties. It's her fault. Again, it's not the black man's fault a little bit. No, hell no. No. You can't make a choice and tell me I'm responsible for the choice that you made.
Right.
Can't do that. Now, anybody who knows anything about history know that everything changed when the Welfare Act came in. People want to blame slavery, but that's bullshit. I have to mention this whenever this comes across my mind.
Right.
David Carroll would say over and over again, up from slavery, you had intact families. Up
yes,
from
sir,
slavery,
you did.
You had Black Wall Street. Up from slavery, you had the community grocery store that was Black owned. Up from slavery. But all of a sudden in the 60s, things started to change.
Yes, sir.
And it has not been the same since.
It hasn't been the same since. I totally agree.
So again, it was a result of her choices that she was given by our enemies, the enemies of our community. And she literally, and this is what we don't talk about. I don't expect loyalty from her because naturally and organically, the creature is supposed to be conquered. But if you was to assign any type of real accountability, well, then she would truly be a traitor. She would truly be like how can I say it? Treasonous. But I don't ascribe those kind of values to the Phoebes because the Phoebes doesn't have values like that in the first place. That's not what she's made to be. But if we were to ascribe those values, we would have to say that it's a poisonous and treasonous creature. It's just what it is. And so because of the choices you made, again, our neighborhoods are in shambles. Our young men are buried 6 feet deep, and the other ones she put in the chop shop before they are born. And that's all her doing. So she made her bed, lie in it. And smart men will not deal with the BW seriously.
What do you say to your critics, Black Ram, to say you're overgeneralizing the pathologies of all Black women and encapsulating it instead of saying there's a percentage that did it, but it's not all Black women? What would you say to your critics about that?
Well, I would have to say that myself and others who have had the same experience, we all concede that pretty much all of them like that. Now, are there exceptions? Of course, there may be exceptions, but those exceptions are just that, exceptions. We've seen this behavior, whether she's educated, whether she's an in the hood, dirty little queer. We've seen this, whether she's an attorney, whether she's a doctor. We've seen this behavior. Here's the thing. It's not just us. The universe, the planet knows of her behavior. You know how I know they know of her behavior?
Right.
We have caricatures created by Tyler Perry of someone being loud, mean, attitude, boisterous. We have those, right?
Right.
Now, those didn't come out of nowhere. And we laugh at them because they're true. Why is it that we all have a template in our head of the BW as being nasty, mean, and rude? So much so to the degree, kosher, that even they amongst themselves concede to this very point that the BW is mean, selfish, crude, evil, attitudinal, all of these things. Even though themselves critique this behavior from time to time. So it's not just the Black man's experience, the European, the Latino,
They all experience.
Everybody's familiar with that attitude. In fact, I have to go on to say that she has the most notorious and popular attitude on earth. Nowhere on earth is someone a demographic of people known for such an attitude exclusively. And everybody knows it's that BW attitude. Hard to deal with, disagreeable, argumentative, that no one wants to deal with. Not even their fellow sisters want to deal with that. This is why they always say they don't have female friends, because they're messy and cantankerous and all that. So nobody wants to be bothered. So this is universal. We all have made these observations. Now, that's not to say that that's not one or two or a few exceptions.
Yes, sir. Right.
Again, we're not arguing exceptions. Majority is 50% or more.
Yes, sir. Right. In general.
We all can concede that in our own experience, in our collective experience, 9 times out of 10, we are running into the same archetype of BW over and over again.
Right, no doubt. Shout out to my man, Abraham. Abraham had looked out for me early on the day, man. Thank you, brother Abraham. I don't know who you are, man, but I'm grateful. And Brother Abraham gave me a $20 Cash App early. So let me send a special shout out to Brother Abraham, guys. And this is a Cash App alert. And also shout out to XL Pro, always showing love. XL Pro, man, I appreciate it. And this is a Cash App alert.
It's the money.
I will ask you guys a question until Black Ram get back. Have you guys been a victim of rat culture? Have you been conditioned to be a rat? You know, Black Ram, I've been following you for years, man. I would say that you are one of the original OGs in YouTube. You and David Carroll, you know, I would say the Angry Man, but I think you preceded Angry Man. I think you were doing this before Angry Man, but you, Angry Man, David Carroll, you guys have been clearing calls for years, man, and your work, man, you know, it's good, but sometimes it's so good, man, I get triggered because I know what you're saying is true, but, you know, men get what's called a schema affliction. That's a term that I created. It basically means a schema is a fixation, but the affliction is due to pain or fear. The fixation that many men have assumed, Black Ram, over the years is that they were going to get a woman of virtue, chastity, and class, but they never got it. And so when you realize what you're getting, then you become fearful and fretful because now your greatest fears are coming true about what you thought once was a reality. So it becomes a schema affliction. And see, you talked about something, Black Ram. I know it and you know it, that as I said earlier, a large portion of our women voted for policies that were not advantageous to Black men, Black boys, or the so-called Black community. You saw what this president was about to do. I saw it. We could see it. We saw it from 1,000 miles away. Even Elmo could see it. And Elmo is a dummy. Elmo could see it, man. Elmo said,
repeat that.
Elmo said, what the hell are y'all doing? You know, Elmo can see it.
Even old Elmo, my goodness.
And you know, man, you know, all on Facebook, man, you know, I lost friends, you know, people tried to call me out. And so I said, okay, you're going to see it for what it is. They didn't vote for the community, but they voted for themselves. They voted for a woman that was complicit in the mass incarceration of Black men.
Oh, yeah.
And when I pointed that out to them, you know, they just minimized it. You know, well, you know, you know, they found all kinds of ways to deflect and to justify the bad behavior. You framed the term the community, and once again, as I asked you earlier, I don't think we're gonna see a semblance of a true Black community like where I'm from. Like I grew up in the state of North Carolina, the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State. We had Black Wall Street in Durham. You know, you had what's called Hayti community. We also had the Black revolution going on in Wilmington, North Carolina. North Carolina produced some of the greatest icons of Black progress and Black civility. We have the highest level of historically Black colleges in the country. You know, the state of North Carolina, many people don't know it. But you know, but when it came down to the collectivist or the collective mindset of honor and respect, many times, Black Ram, you don't hear people talking about, you know, your dad is Black, but anytime Black men have a desire or a degree to do whatever because they weren't raised by Black men, you had the simp servers and Raekwon the Madman, Black Ram, they'll look at you and say, if you keep running your mouth, because you from Chicago, but if you keep running your mouth, I'm gonna do something to you. You say, what do you mean what you gonna do to me? Well, you'll see, keep running your mouth, and then Black Ram, they'll say,
yeah, we chain on them balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back me look like gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey. Gang. That's on my monkey.
Yeah, Black Ram is on my mama. You know what I'm talking about because you grew up in Chicago. You know, you grew up in it. You saw it, and you know rules. It's a matriarchal rule, and you knew that in those kind of environments, if you're not careful. When Raekwon say, "Oh my mama," you can lose your life because they don't think like men; they think based on emotion.
Yep, like
female. Let's go back in time, Black Ram, when you were a rat, when you gave your resources. You gave your attention, you gave your time, and you traded all for sex and settlement. Because see, watch this, guys. Black Ram is an Aries. them Aries fall in love. They fall in love fast, man. Those Aries, man. As soon as they meet a woman, they sing that song they sing that song by the Afflictions. Bet you by golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever. Them Aries fall in love fast. They move fast. They fall in love fast and they fall out of love fast. But tell the audience, Black Ram, about your struggles as a man. And how you were a rat, but then you flipped it and became a star. You took the rat concept and flipped it and became a star. How was Black Ram a rat? Because you talked about the strumpet tail. The strumpet tail is one of the most powerful stories I ever heard, man. And the one,
I'm doing an anniversary edition of that. I'm probably going to release it tomorrow. So it's like a little bit of a remastered, and I put some graphics behind it. So it's the 6-year anniversary of that video, so I'm gonna re-release that tomorrow probably. But yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell the audience about how you were a rat and how you evolved to become the man that you are now, because you were a victim of rat culture. But how did Black Ram evolve?
Well, I was never the person to give my resources to a woman because I never really had it. I've always struggled, especially as a youth growing up in a poor neighborhood in Chicago. So money was never the thing that I had, or a whole lot of time. But what I did give of myself when it came to women is my mind, my heart, and my emotions. And in error, of course, I poured into them. And there was really no benefit to doing such, no benefit to doing it. I remember being a younger man, believing this thing in my head. And I think this is a thing that we all believe in our head.
Yes, sir.
That somehow women are just better.
Right.
That they're just innocent. That they're just holy.
Mm-hmm.
Can do no evil, can do no wrong. Mm-hmm. And it was so much so like this that I would doubt myself before I doubted the integrity of a woman. Now, this was very young. I'm talking about high school, but still this was impactful. Before I questioned the integrity of a woman, I would question my own integrity for questioning her integrity. Because we grow up with this thing in our head that women are sweet and innocent, and that it's only men that are damaging. And if you do see a woman who's not sweet and innocent, it's because a man did that to her, and she's not in her right man because a man did that to her. Mm-hmm. It was only through trial and error and through time that I realized that you are dealing with a naturally, organically mean, evil, spiteful, hateful being. Mm-hmm. Whose goal is to manipulate you at every turn. Are there exceptions? You be the judge. But I've never met a woman who wasn't manipulative. I've never met a woman who didn't try to control you in some sort of way. I never met a woman who never tried to outsmart you in some kind of way.
Yes, sir.
Yes, play a game. And the only reason why she can outsmart you because you are unassuming to her real character and don't realize how cunning and evil that she is. This is just the nature of the beast. Again, I say even women know this about women. So this is nothing new. I know coming from me, it may sound rough, but this is what women know about women. This is why women don't like being friends with other women, because they see how evil and hateful, and every word and everything they do has an undertone. A woman can't say anything to anybody at any time without having this sort of undertone under it that has more meaning. This is why your girl always asking you, well, did you really mean this? Or what did you mean when you said? Or what did you mean when you said A, B, C, F, and G? Because they can't comprehend a world where somebody means what they say and say what they mean because they're so manipulative. All of these undertones. Mm-hmm. So anytime a woman asks you, well, what do you mean by that? You will clear as day. But she thinks there's always a hidden message and hidden agenda. Why? Because she's always hiding her messages, always hiding her agenda. She's always being sneaky. She's always being manipulative. She always has something up her sleeve. She don't trust herself.
Right.
So when I realized that was the nature of the beast, and I remember I had a girlfriend in high school, man. She told me her middle name was one thing when it was another. She used to put little moles on her face and told me they were real when it was really makeup. I was so gullible at the time. I felt the track in her head. Right. And I'm like, well, what's that? Well, she said, no, that's just the jail. That's just jail. Right. So I doubted myself. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what weave is. Right. Because I felt the track, but she said it's just jail. So I'm going to go ahead and believe her. Now, don't get me wrong. She had a bunch of insecurities. However, she was a liar through and through and had an agenda and lied about pretty much everything. And I said, wait a minute, maybe this is just an anomaly, because I thought she was just the sweetest thing in the world, and she was sweet to me to a degree. But I didn't realize all of that underlying evil. So at that point, as I got older, I set out to study women. And of course, I met other women who were pretty much the same. And I thought maybe it was me. But then I started comparing my experience to the experience of other men and said, oh, well, this seems like it's damn near universal. So that's when I began the road to really trying to understand female nature. I did it at a time when there were no books written about it, pretty much, when there was no such thing as YouTube, when there was no such thing as really people in the neighborhood teaching you about this. I had a few players and pimps, but they taught me and the people in the neighborhood how to gain women, not necessarily how to understand women. So I had to do that journey on myself. And then when I came across the community of like-minded individuals on YouTube, I became an avid watcher all day, every day. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and start creating some content. Yes, and that was almost 10 years ago. And I started listening to guys like Barbarossa. People know who those people are. Stardust, the MGTOW community. Started listening to Laz Crucible, Thug Titian Wisdom, Rick Scorpio, even Tommy, quite a few others as well, who had the same ideals and the same experiences that I've had. I said, you know what? This community is on to something. So I joined the community, and the rest is history. Yes, sir.
Right. You know, as time go on, we're beginning to see the inevitable. And, some will argue that Kevin Samuels worked himself to death tirelessly for merely reason trying to bring forth reform. But red culture can make a man an unconscious simp. And see, I created another acronym, Black Ram, called the unconscious simp. And what it stands for is this. It's a thinking error. It's an unconscious pathology. What he does, he supplements irrational male patterns. With simps, it's a pattern of behavior that they have. They supplement, meaning they feed the narcissistic supply. The things they do is very irrational because men don't do that, only males do it. But they supplement irrational male patterns of behavior. When was Black Ram an unconscious simp? And when did Black Ram evolve to become the man that he is now? Because, there's no line in therapy.
Absolutely. And there is no lying in therapy. So I need you guys to please believe me when I say that I can't ever recall simping as an adult male, only as a child. And I'm very serious about that because I learned valuable lessons about female nature early. And I was born with a temperament of not wanting or letting or having people get over on me. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was a bad thing for anybody to get over on you. So I've always, since I was in high school, once I realized what my girlfriend was, I always had a sense of not trusting women. Not saying that a woman couldn't do something that behind my back that I didn't know about, but my only issue was loving a woman. But I never, since I can say since I was adult, I've never violated any of my basic principles for a woman. I've never paid a woman's bills. Have I ever helped a woman out with money? Sure. But I made sure either that woman paid me back or she was the type of woman that would help me out as well. Right. And I would have my hand out. So I was never a money man. That was something that I always made a clear distinction with, was my money when it came to women. So my so-called simping would have been done by falling in love with a bunch of whores over my lifetime. That's my detriment. Not spending money, not doing anything stupid. Friends of mine would laugh at me because I didn't believe in buying cars and clothes for hoes. I say again, my friends would laugh at me because I didn't believe in buying cars and clothes to attract hoes. And I know that's part of the game. But I said that's a part of the game I'm not going to play. I'm not going to take my money and get into all of these fashion trends and buy cars. And I'm not putting down anybody with a BMW. I'm not. But one day I was looking, I said, man, I can get this BMW for $20,000. I had just started working my government job. So I can get this BMW for $20,000. But I know it's a used BMW, about 5 to 6 years old. And although I will look slick in it, kosher, and I can grab me some gear, I can look slick in this BMW, I can holler at a bunch of hoes, I can have girls coming coming and going left and right if I just get these clothes for these hoes and drive this BMW. But I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Because what I know is that a BMW is a money pit, that it's going to stay in the shop. German engineering is great for when you're actually driving the machine, but as far as reliability, no thank you. So what I did instead, I bought a Toyota Corolla. And Toyota Corollas don't attract hoes.
Right.
So I made the conscious decision never to be a different person or try to impress women. In my opinion, this is my opinion, the ultimate simp goes out of his way to protect and impress women. And I've never had that problem. In fact, some people would say that I'm so frugal that women would call me cheap. Some people would call me a bum for the most part because how I dress, because I just didn't care about clothes and hoes. If I got a woman in my mind, I got it off my mouthpiece, who I am in my presentation. If I couldn't get it by talking to her, I'm not going to get it by buying clothes and cars and all this other stuff. And in fact, in my opinion, I'd rather just pay a flat rate than go about $1,000 on outfits. Real quick story. I'm in a club with some buddies of mine. And we were in Atlanta at the time from Chicago, and we were getting dressed and everything. And I'm like, man, bro, how much were those pants you got on? He had some nice blue jeans on. And I forgot the name brand he said. He said, oh, yeah, these are such and such. These cost me $250. Like, damn, that's nice. Hey, bro, man, I like them pants you got on. Them blue jeans are nice, man. What are those? Oh, these are such and such and cost me $190. Then another guy had on a blazer that was nice. I said, man, that blazer looked nice, man. Yeah, this was $250. So they're telling me about their clothes and their shoes and how much this shit costs. And they thought they were funny. They thought they were being funny. So they was like, Ram, what kind of pants you got on? Because I'm asking all of them. And I said Levi's. And they all fell out laughing.
Right.
Fell out laughing. And guess what I did? I fell out laughing too. So I'm thinking in my head, you dumb ninjas spent all of this money to go to the club and we're going to see the same women. And sure as shit, I'm the only one that got numbers, and I'm the only one that hit abroad in Atlanta while they buying all these clothes and trying to show off for these HOs because I used the game and they used their clothes. And I'm like, what's the good of your clothes if you're going to stand in the corner and just be silent? Right, you got on $1,000 in clothes in the summertime, which means you got on some expensive stuff, but you ain't hollering at no hoes. So for me, it was never a situation where I wanted to give money to a woman. My problem has been giving my biggest asset to a woman, which is my heart, which some can say is worse than giving money. Right. And if somebody thinks that, I will concede to that point. But here's the thing. Giving my heart was something that I had to really learn and train myself not to do. I didn't want to give you my money. Didn't want to give you much of my time. I couldn't stand being around a chick too long. I can't do it. Can't give you my money and I can't be around you too long. Those two things I couldn't do. But I can love you for miles away and talking to you only an hour a day. And that's been my problem.
We're going to talk about that, man, because you're giving the guy some free game on the night. But in the meantime, guys, shout out to my man, Alton Prayer. Alton Prayer, man, Alton been showing a lot of love. That's a good brother, man. Alton Prayer, you are the new sponsor with that $50 Cash App. And Black Ram, we got a Cash App alert. Shout out to my man, brother, Alton Prayer. Thank you, sir, and you are the new sponsor.
It's the money.
Now, Black Ram Raekwon, as you can tell, is the head rat. You know, I came up with 3 rats. You got Raekwon the rat, you got Jimbo the rat, and you got Hector. You know, he's a rat too, because they all have been trained to give their resources, attention, time for settlement and sex. And see, you know, Black Ram, you and I are from the 90s. I came out of high school back in 89, 90 when the women were better. They were worthy of being sung to and writing letters to and treating better because they were better women.
Yeah.
They were better. You know, they had a higher level of shame. They were getting in too, but they would hide it, or they didn't mind cooking a man a meal. But see, they all got infected, with liberal indoctrination when they went to schools. And so when you start saying words like serve or cook, they say I'm a slave, but they expect you to be a servant when the car breaks down. They expect you to be a servant when it comes down to changing oil. And it goes back to something you said a minute ago. In the clinical world, it's a thinking error. We call it the minimization and magnification. It's the minimization of men and their needs. It's the magnification of her needs because she is an agent of solipsism, where she see you as just a commodity. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson came up with a term called concuserf, concubine and serf. I parroted that term and created my own term called the commodification of subjugation. She sees you as a commodity to become subjugated to meet her needs. And when you don't meet those needs, if she's not been conditioned to honor and respect you, then she'll give you the boot. You talked about giving your heart away. But growing up in the inner cities of Chicago, not only did men give their heart away, they gave their lives away. Because, am I talking right, Black Ram? Because see, Raekwon the Rat, he had on the fitted hat. You have his hat behind, you see Raekwon the Rat in the corner. And Raekwon the Rat, Black Ram, many times said, he would, I got to go ahead and get this money to make her like me. I got to go ahead and get this money for my mama. I got to go ahead and get this money for my homies, only to many times to lose their life or to get a strong bid in prison. You saw it because you grew up in Chicago. Absolutely. And so they were rats, resources, attention, which equals a validation, time, but also sex for the hope of being settled down with. And when you begin to see it now, Black Ram, it's safe to say now that would you say men are beginning to wake up because Alan Roger Curry wrote a book called The Beta Male Revolution? Or do you think many men are still in a stupor when it comes down to female nature and female behavior?
I think the majority of men are still asleep in a stupor. I think we take for granted that even though this space has gotten much larger and grown, we still take for granted that it's not the majority of males in this population. Right. I've had women in my life make the grave error of listening to my content saying, and I quote, they're listening to me to see how men think. And I often have to tell them, like, no, sweetie, what you're looking at is only a small percentage of men who actually view the world like this. This is not the way men think. Right. They were so stupid that they couldn't even comprehend that much, that most men bend over backwards to serve you and are glad to do so. To the point you made earlier, when you change a flat tire or screw in a light bulb for, she calls that being a man. But if you ask her to make you a sandwich, that's sexist, right?
Right.
She's liberated from her traditional roles, but you expect it to be a man and stick with your traditional roles, right? But the thing that I dislike about simps, which are the majority of men, is that all a woman has to do is shame you, and you'll fall right in line. You'll fall in line and servitude to a weaker vessel. So any man who's outsmarted by the weaker vessel, you really have to look and say, hey, where does this come from? Of course, it's a societal problem, and also it's a problem within that man. So there's a two-pronged attack because society conditions you to be this way, and then you as a man want to be this way. And I guess we can thank Adam in the Garden of Eden for that. So you have to fight outside and inside for your right to exist as a sovereign and independent man with your independent thought, and not lend yourself to the shame and tactics of females and give yourself an identity, which most of us do. Most men give themselves an identity based off of females' desire. And of all the things that I've seen within men concerning this space, what troubles me the most, what's most heartbreaking, is that most men can't comprehend that they judge themselves and their value and their worth based off of what a broad thinks of him. And men do it subconsciously and consciously. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Right. And I realized that I really couldn't talk this way in this space, Brother Kosher, because a lot of concepts that I have, the majority of men aren't just ready for. And I don't think they ever will be. I think they rather hear their egos being stroked by other YouTubers. And I think they rather hear things that make them feel good or enrage them, but they don't want to hear anything that's truly constructive to where they have to look in the mirror and change themselves. And when I realized that in this space that they rather be entertained, I said, you know what, I have to do something different. Because I can't just be a part of the money grab and the entertainment aspect. Sure, we could be entertaining. Sure, we can laugh. Sure, we can have fun. But I realized male development is really missing. And I really wanted to, Brother Kosher, but I pushed back on it. I really wanted to get into male psychological development. But I got such a pushback when I would do videos on such, it wouldn't get any views. And nobody wanted to talk about it. Right. And I said, well, this is the root of our problem. I'm going to tell you that root in a minute. This is the root of our problem, but nobody is willing to diagnose and treat themselves based off this observation that I have that I think that we all can agree to. So without further ado, I want to say the problems that we have as men, one of the big problems, again, that we have as men is identifying ourselves and giving our own value and our own self-worth based upon the female thought, psyche, and desire. And here's how we do that. Here's how we do that. Anytime a man brags about how much money he has, you are under a female narrative. Anytime a man brags about how tall he is, you're under a female narrative. Right. You value yourself based off of height, and you value yourself based off of your money because that's what females value. Right. Upon any man who says he has a big, bippy. All right, I don't want to get graphic. If you say your big bippy is huge and big and, all that you can do with your bippy, again, you are determining your value based off a female-centric, a gynocentric, and a female-centered thought, idea, and philosophy. You are creating yourself in the image of what she think a man should be. And I have to say, when it comes to being a man, there is nothing weaker than determining your own worth and value by that which serves a female. Now, I'm not talking about the guys in the chat, but me just saying that will go over a million guys' heads and they can't comprehend it. And no matter how many ways I put it, no matter how hard I try, and I had to give up on it, men cannot comprehend that one concept. And if you can get a hold of your own identity and don't identify yourself or value yourself based off what serves a female, then you will be on your way to really thinking like a real man. Right. But so happens that most men are bitchs. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but men cannot comprehend that fact alone. And men do it consciously and subconsciously. And they do it over. Right. My money, my clothes, how big my bip is. I'm this tall, I'm that tall. I'll give you another one. A man will laugh at another man. Oh, you don't get no bitchs. So now my value is based upon how well I can attract a female. So that's the hope. That's the sum total of my value as a human being is my ability to attract a female. And here's the thing. I'm sorry to say, you guys in the chat, and I love you guys, but I have to sit back, and this might be an elitist attitude. This might be arrogant, but sometimes I have to look back and laugh at some of you guys because I see your favorite YouTubers who are fake and phony. I'm not going to say any names, but your favorite YouTubers are fake and phony. Yes, sir. And 100% egotistical, not really giving you any real value. And they're following the same paradigm. They're following the same ideologies of gynocentrism. Again, determining their own worth and value based upon that which serves a female. I'm going to say that again. Basing your own self-worth and value based upon that in which serves a female. So a lot of your dating coaches and your game guys and all of this, they all determine their own value based off of female. So I had to say, you know what? F-U-C-K, the red pill, because it's a weak as H-E-L-L pill. That pill is weak as F-U-C-K. And I don't care how many guys in here claim their red pill. Your pill is weak as Kool-Aid, partner. Weak. Because every red pill content creator that you know, so-called red pill content creator, they base their own self-worth off what serves a female. No doubt. So I develop is a pill that's superior to, and I'm gonna talk this talk. I'm sorry, fellas, but I'm better than all of your favorite YouTubers. I'm sorry. Now there may be a few on my level. I'm not gonna say a name there, and the guys who are on my level know who they are. So I don't need to bring those guys up. And those are the guys that I mess with on the regular. There are about 5 or 6 guys who are on my level, but the rest of these guys, no, sir. No, sir. They are as weak as Kool-Aid, and red pill is weak as Kool-Aid, man. And they don't have any real manhood, no real principles, and they're not talking about anything substantial whatsoever. because no matter at the end, no matter who you are, at the end of the day, it all goes back to you. But they want to make it all go back to what serves a female. And they think the sum total of your life is chasing HOs and putting them on an equal pedestal with yourself. But guys love that. They love it.
And see, you know what you said is powerful, because if you use the red pill for what it is as it relates to male empowerment in order, then the red pill is not bad. But if you take it and use it the way many use it, like you were saying, then it's self-defeating. You know, why get the knowledge or the gnosis, as they say in the esoteric, but you still living your life to please her?
Yeah,
you should, right.
Absolutely. Now, conservatively, you know, how the red pill first started out, I would agree. But you only know.
Talk about that, Ram. Talk about that. Talk about how it first started out. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So it first started off about male empowerment and male improvement. That was the first iteration of it. So it's just like the term GAY. If I ask a person, hey, what did the term GAY originally mean? And believe it or not, they'll all get it wrong. They'll all get it wrong. Oh, it used to mean happy. Have you ever heard that? GAY used to mean happy. And that's a good point. At one time it did, but that's still not the original meaning. We know now it's, you know, speaks of people in the letter community. But GAY, at one time it did mean happy, but it was something before that. In the Bible, it has a verse says, you wear the gay clothing. What does that mean? It means colorful and loud. Well, what's my point in saying this? Is that through time, words change meanings. So if you want to describe yourself as being happy, you would say, hey, Ram, man, today is just such a gay day for me. You're not going to say, hey, Ram, this shirt I got on is just so gay. You're not going to say those. So now the word has changed from its original meaning because of the application has been misappropriated. I'm telling you that the red pill, it's been misappropriated. So the red pill really means placating to a female. That's what it means now. So now I'm not knocking anybody. I'm in my own lane. I do my own damn thing, and I don't bother nobody else. I ain't trying to fight with nobody. Okay. But me, myself personally, would never call myself red pill because I've seen how it's degenerated. And I think getting in this space over 10 years, and I had a channel for 9 years, but I've been in this space for 12 years. I believe I'm qualified to say that because I've been in this space longer than most of your favorite YouTubers. I'm going to say 99% of them. And I've added more than your favorite YouTubers, 99% of them. So I think I'm qualified to say that the red pill is not the pill for me anymore because it has changed, meaning it has degenerated. So
I see your point. Right. You're not against the concept if it's used appropriately. But what you're saying is that men are deferring their power for female validation, something they should never do. And see, Ram, you said something that was very powerful. And I talked about a concept I created called the inner sanctum of masculinity. And the inner sanctum of masculinity says this: God comes first, then your mind. Your mind is part of your inner sanctum. That's where only a few men can go, similar to the Levites. In the Levites, at the tabernacle, only a few men can go in and into that tabernacle because the Ark of the Covenant was symbolic of the presence of God. But then the last stage is that you should serve your woman. God, your purpose, and then your woman. But what you're saying is that it's woman, maybe God second, and then that purpose, or woman, purpose, and then God at the bottom in that order. And what you're saying is that it's out of order to the point it's empowering men for seeing what their true worth is. And listen, everything you're saying is correct, man. I've seen it myself. When men try to give, I've done shows, man, like you were talking about the inner sanctum, and, you know, I did shows talking about male abuse, and don't get no views, man. You know, they don't pay it no attention, you know. And so almost damn near, it forces you to come up with goofy stuff. You had to get creative, but at the same time, get the message across. You sneak in the message in the back door. You know, in the South, we call it a streak of lean, streak of fat, because you can't give them all kosher meat because they can't handle it. You can't give them all fat because it's not good for them. So you got to give them a streak of lean and a streak of fat. Exactly. And you're right. I agree with you. I've learned that some of these cats are fake too. I don't say nothing, but I just tell you.
And see, here's the thing.
But they're fake. A lot of them are fake.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes over a lot of guys' head. Pretty much you guys in the chat, pretty much all of your favorite YouTubers have changed it up 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 times. But I guarantee you cannot go in any of my old videos, my old archives, and see where Ram has switched up on any of you guys.
No, you haven't.
Never switched up. I've seen it over and over again. Never switched up. No, sir. Did I venture to talk about more things? But I've never switched it up. Never.
Kept your message consistent.
Almost everybody I know in this space have turned on their own on black men at one time and went the female side and start promoting female ideologies. Black Ram has never done that. I don't get any credit for that. I don't need any credit for that. But when I look at the space, I have to say it's with disappointment because I remember what it used to be. And I see all of these YouTubers, 1 minute they're pro-male, next thing you know, they're throwing me under the bus.
Right. They're back and forth. They're back and forth. They're back and forth.
And I have to laugh because the guys who support these YouTubers, it's almost like they don't see it. And they continue to support them. I'm like, this guy over here phony, and I'm real as hell, but that don't mean nothing. But I realize that real recognize real as well. So I'm like, okay, so I realize not only are the YouTubers phony, but the damn audience is phony too. That's what I just had to realize. Hey, the damn audience is phony too. They're all with it.
Well, you know, it's entertainment, man. You know, it's sad, but it's entertainment for many of them. Shout out to a man supporting men for that $3 super sticker. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And then shout out to what's his name? My man Native Aaron. Peace to you, Black Ram. I heard you mention Lee Lumber Company in the previous video. Many of my family have worked there as well as you. You must be from Bertie like myself, no doubt. Yeah, I heard of Lee Lumber Company, man. Yeah, Lee Lumber Company is an old school, man.
That's a deal,
I appreciate it. That's a deal, right? Tell me who you are, man, in the background, man.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Anyway, thank you, Native Aaron. I appreciate it, man. And shout out to you. Also, shout out to Cortez. I ain't gonna lie, more names, but I'll leave that alone. Yeah, but anyway, Black Ram, we're getting deep into the core of the topic, man. And you know, it is what it is, Ram. You know, I came into this space with a genuine heart, and I still am very genuine. And I know that many men can be persuaded by money and fame, but you know, I can show you videos of me back in when I was like 27 advocating for men. This ain't nothing new for me. I've been advocating for years, and you know, I just see it for what it is now. I used to take it personal, but I don't even take it personal. I said, whatever, it is what it is. You know, when I began to see people for what they really were, you know, they talk old male advocacy, but like you said, they flip-flop. 1 minute they say one thing, next minute they say something else. Next minute, one day, yes, I said, whatever, man, I ain't got time for these clowns. I'm going to be like you. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to stay in my own lane. And I'm going to be like Eddie Kendrick said, keep on trucking, baby. That's what I'm going to do. But let's talk about and go back in time, guys. I need you guys to do me a favor. Get the likes up, share the content. Go check out Black Ram on his YouTube channel, a very powerful channel. He's one of the pillars in this space, the original OG. You know, him, and I would say that he's one of the kings. Very undeserved. You know, he never got the credit he deserved. A lot of folks have used his talking points. They never really gave him credit. And they've used his name to build their platform. Some of these guys are very shiesty, but it is what it is. It is what it is, you know, and you know, Black Ram, that's why, you know, I always timestamp my stuff, because terms like simp surfer, unconscious simp, conscious simp, you know, the gravy train simp, you know, because that's like the old folks, old men telling you that you know, women gonna be like your grandma Gertrude, you know, Gertrude with them old names, and you know, a lot of men believe that we're gonna go back to the old ways, but those days are not gonna ever happen again. They're not gonna ever happen again. And it's important for men to love themselves, because if they don't love themselves, they will become a rat. They will become a slave to resources, attention, time, sex, and settlement. It's a modern man, Black Ram, getting a bad deal, in your opinion? And if so, tell the audience how. Tell the audience how they're getting a bad deal.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you're dealing with a woman in this society, it's at a loss. First of all, by nature, you're going to give more. That's just who men are. Men are givers. Women are receivers. Men are givers. And you can't help but to give. All right? Oh, we got to zoom to Thailand in the house.
No doubt. Shout out my homie. Let me go shout out my man, Richie, back. Give me a minute, man. Shout out to Mr. Lawrence for the $2 super sticker. No doubt. And Richie, man, Richie's my brother, man. I got nothing but love for that brother. He's always showing me, brother. Number love and respect. You know, Rich is an Aries like you, man.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
Rich will be killing them too and getting rid of them.
Hey, salute to Richie.
Salute to Richie, man.
Let me say something about Brother Richie.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
He has inspired a generation of new travelers, man.
Yes, sir, he has.
And I mean, before I heard of his channel, I was already on my way to Thailand. And hearing this channel make me want to hurry up and go to Thailand. So much so I'll be there in February.
Right. You're heading to Colombia soon, right?
Yeah, heading to Colombia next week actually, and then in late January, early February, I'll be in Bangkok, Pattaya, and Chiang Mai as well. So shout out to Richie for influencing a bunch of guys to go foreign, and hopefully one day, brother Richie Mack, I'd like to have you on the channel. Definitely before I make that trip to Thailand, maybe I can run into you. Richie, what city are you in Thailand, by the way? But yeah, I plan on going to Pattaya and spend most of my time there. But
Pattaya. Yeah, I think he's in Pattaya, I believe.
Okay, so I'll spend most of my time in Pattaya, but I'm going to Bangkok and I want to do Chiang Mai because I'm thinking about at some point living over there for about a year or so. So,
okay, cool. Shout out to Richard Mack, and that is a deal, right? I appreciate it, Richard Mack. Thank you, brothers. And in the meantime, guys, I need you guys to do something for me. You guys are doing an awesome job as Black Ram and I are chopping it up and talking about red culture. But I need you guys to feed that robot because the robot got to eat. Yeah, Black Ram, the robot is going through an inflation too, man. And the robot said, damn it, y'all about to start feeding me, man, because the robot got to eat too. So y'all hit that, y'all smash that like button, man. But you know, Black Ram, we're living in very turbulent times. You got a series called the Dark Series with Black Ram, and you know, and you know, Black Ram. The world is becoming very turbulent, and many women are trying to use men for resources. You know, they're becoming chameleons. They're changing their spots because, you know, the gospel say, can a leper change their spots? But some of these women are beginning to about face because they want your resources, Black Ram, because like you say, women are very insular. They receive light. The man is the sun. He gives light. But she is the moon. She's supposed to reflect who he is. The sun gives light. The moon reflects that light, and it becomes symbiotic. When you're dealing with women, Black Ram, that are constantly draining you, then they're not adding any value to your life. They are taking value away from your life. The sun gives light, like the S-O-N give light and life. The woman receives that light. And what she does, she reflects the light of a man, which in essence gives him the power to continue to shine that light back on her. But see, Black Ram, we live in a world now, Black Ram, where men are constantly giving their light and their life away for nothing. They're not getting nothing in return. You know, Black Ram, you and I are from the 70s. You know, you probably born in 78, and I was born in 71. Yep. And around that time, it was Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and Ted the Pendergrass. Oh yeah, you know about Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and Ted the Pendergrass said, "Oh man, it's so good to love somebody and somebody to love you back." That's what they said back in the day. But
that was that good music back then.
That was good music, man. But see, men are not getting that anymore.
Right.
They're not getting that relationship reciprocity. I'm going to say it again. They're not getting relationship reciprocity to the point, Black Ram, they are burning themselves out because they are rats. I'm going to show you something. This is something Kevin Samuels did before he passed away. And Ram, you tell me what you think. Because a lot of men have become rats. Hold tight. Hold tight.
Men get tired. We get tired. God, we get tired. And don't nobody give a damn. The folks you think could give a damn don't give a damn. Sometimes your kids don't even give a damn. And in the face of such hurt, heartbreak, rejection, confusion, a lot of men are just out here lost. And waking up every day is a miracle. Some people go to sleep and will be all right. We're not waking up.
Why do so many?
When you hear that, man, what resonated in your head, because it's true, and that all goes back to being a resource. Some call it a utility. Some call it a utility, Black Ram, a resource. Basically a drain, a tool, because on Father's Day, men don't get anything endearing. They get tools to continue to feed her pathology. But what say you about what Kevin was saying in this clip? Because it's true, it resonates with a lot of men. So many men have gone to the grave, Black Ram, with dreams deferred. Raekwon the Rat went to the grave. Jimbo the Rat went to the grave. And also Hector the Rat has gone to the grave broken, man, because they didn't have the reflection of their woman pouring life back into them. Am I talking right? Am I talking right, Black Ram?
Absolutely.
Am I talking right? Because watch this, Black Ram. In the clinical world and behavior modification, we call it an equilibrium or homeostasis. So basically what it means in positive reinforcement, the woman benefits and the man benefits. But you have what's called a disequilibrium when she's only benefiting. When you hear goofy stuff like, happy wife, happy life, I got to do what my wife say, dragging my knuckles, being a goofball, instead of being in a relationship where the man and the woman both benefit and they both take care of one another. But what do you say about Kevin? Because you evolved to become Black Ram. And does it say that Black Ram is like an alter ego that's part of the dark side, something you became?
That's a great way to look at it. First, I want to address the point you mentioned about, not getting anything from women. And somebody mentioned it in the chat, but a brother named Brian Solange came up with a term. I didn't create this term. I created the term fee beast, but Brian Solange created the term fee fail. And what a fee beast or a fee fail is a woman who fails to be that feminine female that all us men desire. See, there's a template in our head of how a woman should be. And understand that biblically, the woman was created for you, period. So the image you have in your head of what a woman should be is not the woman that she actually is. So she actually fails at being a female, which is why we say fee fail.
Yes, sir. I got you.
So she doesn't have that feminine quality to reflect your light. You are the shining light, and she's supposed to reflect that. But she has the inability today to not reflect light, for lack of a better word. So now we have to deal with a woman who's not fully a woman. And this is why we travel, because what we are seeking at the end of the day, a true masculine man, a real man, I ain't talking about no bent wrist, a true masculine man wants a feminine woman. And I just hate to say it, but it's just a fact. Women in the West have been conditioned to act, think like you, although they are not you. And I don't know about any of you guys in the chat, but masculinity repels me. You know what I mean? I don't want to hug nothing masculine or nothing that assumes the shape of masculinity or the thought or the idea or the mindset of masculinity.
Right.
So the average American woman is literally a turnoff to me, literally, because that femininity is just not there. But when you travel to other countries, you see that likeness of foot, so to speak, in heart of a woman. So what we do here in the West, we try to cope with the fact that the average woman is not feminine anymore. And we seek out and we search for that very thing that we just cannot have, and we make the same mistake over and over again. So what we do, we blame ourselves, culture. We blame everybody else except the woman that we're sitting next to. And then we give her excuses of why she act the way she act, when the point is that they're not feminine women. And there's nothing wrong with you as a masculine man wanting a feminine woman. Nothing wrong with that at all. But they'll try to shame you and make it seem as if it's something wrong with that. That you are seeking what you desire. Life is short. Go after what you desire.
Right. I totally agree. Shout out to my man Top Gun for that $5 super stick. He said, salute to the guests for speaking fire on these beady head pickle-eyed fools. You may proceed. And then also shout out to my man, what's his name? My man, Andrew Baker. Andrew Baker says, salute to Kosher and Black Ram. Two of my favorite YouTubers spitting fire. Keep that fire coming. Red Pill for life, passport game, and fire for your mind, no doubt.
Fire,
Kosher fire for your mind. But another thing, about Raekwon the Rat, Jimbo the Rat, and also Hector the Rat, white men and their women caused a lot of the issues that we're having now. And our women, they took the bait. Is that fair to say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And shout out to Mr. Lawrence, my brother, for sending that Cash App donation. Appreciate you, brother.
So if that's safe to say, Black Ram, now that we're in a crisis, now that we might be heading towards a dark apocalypse, what do you see on the horizons as something that could be not only very dark, but troubling? Because you talk about the Dark series over and over and over again. You talk about Raekwon the Rat, and you talk about many of these inner cities going to be war zones as we continue to spiral down into that negative road. And then also, you know, many of these men, like Raekwon, they lead with their wallets. They lead with their wallets instead of leading with their masculinity, which is to put themselves above any and all things. But what do you see on the horizon, Black Ram, as the economy continues to get bad? Because once again, a lot of these women are trying to get resources from men. And I'm going to show you another clip in a minute. But go ahead and give me your point on that real quick.
I did a video. Many call it a classic. Appreciate you, Andrew Baker, for that Cash App donation. Many call it a classic. I don't call it a classic. Other people call it a classic, and I hope that it is that. But I did a video many years ago, probably about 7 years ago, called "What Will She Do When the SHTF?" And in that video, I was the first to propose that, hey, when the economic collapse happens, when America falls, she would be the one that suffers greatly and the most. Particularly the BW, because she's the one who's saying that she doesn't need you and she doesn't want you. But when you can't call 911, when you can't go and get gas, when you can't go to the grocery store to find food, who she's going to call? Can't call Ghostbusters. What are you going to do? Because naturally, you are the one that protects her. And naturally, she's the one that has to be protected. Now, the point is that the very men she has this vitriol and venom for, the men that she put down, will be the very men that she will want to come and save her from other men, because when the society collapses, and I do think a day is coming. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next year, but I believe America has a reckoning day.
I agree.
And when that reckoning day comes, when America is no longer at the top of the food chain, when America is no longer the first world power, when it's no longer that economic juggernaut, and that day is coming swiftly and fast. Countries all around the world are saying, no, America, we're not afraid of you anymore. China threatened the third most powerful person in America, man, politically. America is the strongest economy and the strongest military on earth, but China threatened to destroy a plane carrying Nancy Pelosi, third in line in presidential succession. Third in line. So you think these people are afraid of the United States still? United States hegemony over the globe is waning and dwindling. And a day is coming when the United States will be down in the dumps. And then what you're going to do? But a lot of us, you know, we want to invest our money and we want to spread out throughout the planet. You know, many of us, you know, I think I want to stay permanently in the Philippines, between there and Vietnam. I like Thailand, but I think I want to mess with Vietnam a little bit and the Philippines a little bit, and Cambodia. Other men want to go to different parts of the world, but we're getting out of here because this place is not a place for us. And when those days come and those things happen, what is going to be the fate of that very woman who looks like you, share the same genetics as you, who says she doesn't need you? Then what?
Yeah. And man, we've been beginning to see it over and over again. Many are beginning, or some are beginning to sell their body for provision and protection. But in the meantime, they're still trying to diminish you as a rep, because see, what she's asking you for, she gave to other men for free. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
She gave it to him for free, but now she wants your resource, but she wants to pay for it. Shout out to my man Byron Hammer TV for that $5, those $4.49 pound. I appreciate it. He's just supporting at the Culture Commission of Black Ram on this deep, engaging conversation, talking straight facts, no doubt. But let me show you something else, Black Ram, on this clip, because Kevin talked about it. And it was very true, but it's sad. Because a lot of men have gone to the grave with dreams deferred. You know, Langston Hughes said, what happens when a dream becomes deferred? And many men dreams of the third black ram because they are rats. And we don't want men to become rats. We want men to become valuable. But let's look at this next clip real quick. Hold tight.
Sometimes you're lost. Waking up every day is a miracle. Some people go to sleep. It will be all right.
They're subpar women. Well, you think you're all perfect? No. Most of you are mediocre or less, and you ended up with pretty much exactly where you're at.
Jim Bob's woman started this. Jim Bob's wife started. She started all this stuff, and she gave that poison to our women, and they took it hook, line, and sinker. But where does this entitlement come from? The Bible says that in the last days, they will be lovers of self, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God in the book of Timothy. But where did all this incessant narcissism come from, Black Ram? Because not only do they want your resources, but they also want your attention. But let's talk about the resources and the attention that so many women are craving for in these current times. And I want you to break it down from your expertise.
Yeah. We talk about entitlement. It's because the powers that be, particularly the European, has decided to make his woman equal with him in every way. And going further than that, to place her above him in so many ways, which is in a man to do. Adam did that. Adam placed Eve above him. So white men do it, black men do it. That's our genetic weakness as men. We place that in which should be below us, ahead of us, in the hierarchy. I'm not saying that she's not valuable. I'm not saying that she's not important, but we know how the hierarchy goes. The most high, then man, then woman. But we reverse the order. So of course she's going to be entitled because, like a spoiled child, this society has spoiled her. So what you're seeing is in direct relation to the point that she was placed on a pedestal and spoiled by society at large. You spoil her by, when you see her, damn near falling out your chair because she's so fine. You spoil her by anytime she break a nail, you want to jump to try to fix it. You spoil her by just placing her above you, period, thinking her value is higher than yours. We've done this. We've done this in our personal lives. Society has done this. The government has done this. So since, the subject, the creature, literally has the mind of a child in so many ways, majority of them, not going to say all, but they behave like children. And what you've done is spoiled a child, and now that child is a spoiled and rebellious teenager that you cannot handle. And this is in direct relation. They don't have this problem in Saudi Arabia for a reason. They don't have this problem in Iran for a reason. It's the reason they don't have those problems in Afghanistan.
I totally agree, because it's strict patriarchies, but the West is trying to come over and try to change that. Shout out to my man, Ray Johnson. Ray Johnson's always showing love. He's a good brother. I love Ray Johnson out in prayer. Those brothers love male empowerment and male content. Black Ram, you and I both are saving lives. You're saving lives from your experience as a man, from an anecdotal perspective, and also understanding the esoteric. I'm saving lives from the clinical perspective, the esoteric as well, and some other factors as well. And you're doing a great job, and I will always see you as one of the original OGs in this space. You are one of the pillars that many times, in my opinion, don't get the recognition that you deserve. I feel the Angry Man is one of them too. You guys are definitely icons that should have got a lot more respect than you've gotten, but it is what it is, man. People that power and ego and money go to their heads. And sadly, instead of coming together to give credit and to more or less try to galvanize men in unison, they let the power, money, and prestige go to their heads. Not understanding, Black Ram, the gospel say food tonight, your soul will be acquired of thee. You're not going to take this stuff with you in the afterlife. None of it matters. It's just money is just a means to help you get through this world and to be a blessing to others. But I'm going to finish playing that. And let me give my man out in prayer. My man, Ray Johnson, his the Cash App alert. And Ray Johnson, you get a Cash App alert. I appreciate it, brother.
It's the money.
right. So Black Ram, let me show you something real quick. How much time you got? I know you got to go to work in the morning.
I got about. Well, I had to go to therapy in the morning. I'm off work right now, but I got to go to shoulder therapy for my injury. I can do about another 20 minutes. And shout out to Mandate for his Cash App donation. Appreciate it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, no doubt. Thank you, Black Ram. All right, real quick.
So the answer is the reason why so many people or so many women end up with subpar men is because there are so many subpar women. That's it.
And, and white men are seeing it too. People think this is a black man issue, but it trickles down. When white America get the cold, black America get the flu. We were already underclass or underprivileged people, but then when the white woman got the cold, she gave the black woman the flu, and then the flu killed the black man. And we're still traversing through that foolishness now. Entitlement women, they expect whatever, but they're not giving anything in return. But let's look at this one real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, let me say something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
The issue is that as men, we don't require anything from a woman. We pedestalize her and we place her so far above ourselves, which goes back to what I was saying about the red pill. You're still giving her so much of your validation. You're still giving her so much of your perceived value. You perceiving her value as being 10 times higher than yours. My brother Last Crucible will say that the female looks down to us, right, and put us lower than what we should be, and we look at her and put her way higher than
she should be. Yes, sir. Right. Mm-hmm.
So the issue with that is that based upon that, when you get with the woman, you're just happy to have her. She doesn't have to bring anything to the table because you don't require her to bring anything to the table except her good looks and whatever attention you can get from her. Mm-hmm. But she's going to require of you everything: your life, your money, your time, your energy, your attention, everything. All you want from her, is a little bit of between the sheets if you can. Mm-hmm. So you can only change this thing in your own life, because society is done, by requiring something of her as well and let her compete. See, she can require stuff of you because if she don't get it from you, she feels like she can get it from another man.
Right. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
But you should feel the same way. Hey, if Keisha won't give it to me in Philly, maybe Maylene will give it to me in Vietnam. You get it?
And you know what, man? A lot of them will get mad at you, Black Ram, but women judge men all the time. They'll say, oh, he's judging my past, but watch this. I'm about to drop some fire for your mind. She's judging your future.
For your mind.
Because many times they'll say, don't judge my past, but she's judging your future based on how you can provide, protect, and give to her. Am I talking right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? And so men have the right to judge her past, to see if her past lines up with his standards, to see if his past lines up with his values, to see if her past lines up with his worldview and his faith.
Absolutely.
Because she's going to judge you based on your ability to provide, protect, give security, and maintenance. See, they don't think logically, they think insolent. They think from their feelings. But you got to be the one to think above them. Even the gospel said the husband will rule over her. The gospel also say that God, Christ, man, woman, and children. It said the woman was made for man, and that man was the first fruit of God's creation. God made man to serve him. Man is under God. But then God said that man was made just a little lower than the angels because the man is limited to the earth. The angels are celestial creatures. They can travel throughout space because they are eternal. But men are made just a little lower, but there will become a time, Black Ram, when men would be above the angels because they'll be the image of Yahweh. But I'm gonna send a special shout out to my man. What's his name? Mr. Lawrence. He said, "Fellas, get ready. Y'all will be getting homeless fellas, females knocking. All y'all doing soon. Winners here. Some are making submitted videos now. What do you think about that, Black Ram? What Mr. Lawrence said. Shout out to Mr. Lawrence. What do you think about that? What Mr. Lawrence said, man?
Yeah, I think some women are wising up and they're seeing the economy fall. They see that world events are beginning to be more and more unpredictable, and they realize that there is a natural need for a man's protection. I'll just say have a long memory and don't forget how she really feels about you. Right. But there are a gang of videos out there now, women saying that they don't want to be independent, they don't want to be strong, and they want to submit to a man. But here's the thing: I did a Patreon video, and I'm not going to go into the video right here.
Yes, sir.
I did a Patreon video that talks about how submission means something different to her, And it's a long video, but I'll just give you a quick synopsis. In that Patreon video, I talked about how in her mind, all submission does to her is free her up of any responsibility and accountability. So you have to really, really watch that. So a lot of times, so if you guys are on my Patreon page, if you haven't seen that video, it's a very crucial one to understand female nature. It's called What Submission Means to Her. And it will give you a lot of insight and information on what women actually are saying when they say that they're willing to submit, because that too is a trap and that too is a game. But yeah. But
somebody say even Oprah is trying to come. Somebody said Oprah trying to come around Black Ram.
Oh, wow.
But hold tight. Let me finish playing this real quick. Hold tight. I want Black Ram to finish listening to this. Hold tight.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gonna pay for pussy for the rest of your life?
I'm gonna pay it the whole. Yeah, because relationships do not work for me.
I just can't understand why you saying this morning.
I won't be heartbroken, no feelings, hurt, none of that. I pay it the whole. After I pay it the whole, get what I want, they go their way, I go my way. I'm paying it the whole for me.
Men's, do y'all agree with him?
Hell yeah, they agree. Hell yeah, they agree.
I'ma see.
I hope the married ones don't, though. But the single ones, yeah. Pay it the whole, boy. Pay it the whole. You won't get heartbroken, because these women ain't gonna do right. They go both ways, though.
You hard.
So Black Ram, some are paying them to leave, man. They're saying that, it don't benefit you as a man to give your best to the modern woman, only to women that honor and respect you. And we know most don't do it. Most ain't gonna do it. And many times they're just charlatans, because they want you to clean up their mess. But what did you get from this OG, man? This OG, what he said?
I hate to be
about what he said.
I hate to be redundant, but in promoting the Patreon channel, but I have to say this. I have a Patreon video talks about guarding your heart. And what men don't understand about ourselves, I'm not saying every man, but what a lot of men don't understand about themselves. And in this video, I go through how a man's most precious, can I say asset, or the most precious thing to a man is his heart. And men have big hearts. Men are naturally loving and giving. Right. Remember, we created the whole world and say, hey, woman, you don't have to do anything but sit in the house and bear my children, and the whole world is yours. Right. So a man's love is incomprehensible when it comes to women. So what this man realized, and what I talk about in that video about guarding your heart, what this man realized is that my heart is who I am. And it's the sum total of everything a man is. Again, men construct society because of the love we have for ourselves and women. All right. So that's who you are. That's what you have. And that's the most precious thing. And to give that to a woman who doesn't appreciate it, doesn't deserve it, and misuses that is a tragedy. So some men are waking up and saying, you know what? I have a heart. I have love in me. And I don't want that to be taken advantage of. I don't want to be used. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be damaged like that. So in order to keep my heart safe, because it's the most important thing that I have, because what the scripture says, out of the heart flows the issues of life, right? Right. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So out of that, I don't have the time and the energy to be weary of heart. So what I have to do is guard it. And if the best way for me to guard it is just to pay for it and keep it moving, that's what it is. And you know what? I know a lot of young men give a lot of pushback to paying, pay for play. But I have to say that might be because they're young men. It's something about when you become an older man, you realize that you don't have as much time as you once thought you did. Right. So to sit back and try to run game and try to finesse a woman and jump through these hoops and try to do this and try to do that, for some of us, not all of us, but for some of us, when we get a certain age, we're like, man, we are tired of that shit. Right. We know you at HO anyway. We know that you don't love us anyway. Right. We know you want money anyway. Why play the game and cut to the chase? Because here's the game. The real trick, and again, I said this in the Patreon video, the real tricks are the game, guys, because you're trying to trick yourself into saying that this woman is not a prostitute that's sitting in front of you, who's telling you that she only wants a man for his resources. Right. How is that not prostitution? How is it not? When we know that it is. But these guys want to fool themselves to think that it's their ego. They want to fool themselves by using their ego and thinking it's their swag. They got this woman in front of them when it's really your pocketbook. Well,
so
we have a hard time with that.
I think Ron Wills called it a culture-rated prostitute. Shout out to him. Shout out to my man, the Narc Respect, for that $20 super stick. He said, showing a little support, brother. And shout out to Black Ram Coach, no doubt. Shout out to the Narc Respect. That young brother is always showing love and much blessings, much respect to that young brother. But let's finish looking at this Black Ram real quick. Hold tight. Because, you said something, Black Ram, and I always tell men that when it come down to women, and some women don't understand what I mean when I say this, but you should never love a woman more than you love God and your purpose, because your purpose is fixed and God is fixed. But women are not fixed. Women are very mercurial, meaning they wane like the moon. It's really true to their nature. The moon it wanes and it wans, but the sun is fixed and it continues to shine. But see, when you love your God and your purpose, then when she decides to leave you, and many do leave because 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women, then your mind is still intact. When a man falls in love, that's why that word is powerful, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, Black Ram. But when a man falls, and when I heard you talk about the strumpet's tail and your story, I felt your pain. I felt it because I identified with it. I could still hear you with that music being dark, man. And I said, I got to turn it off, man, because it was very powerful. If you guys have never seen that story on Black Ram's channel, it was about 10 years ago, A Strumpet's Tale, and then the other one, I ain't going to say the other one, but it's true.
I'm going to re-release The Strumpet's Tale probably sometime this week, so it'll be
Right. And
so you got, for those who are not, make sure you go subscribe to the channel.
Yes, sir.
I just put, I believe I posted the link there. I'm not sure if it went through.
Guys, put Black Ram's channel in the chat so the guys go check him out. I'm sure some of you guys know Black Ram, but many of you don't. So go check out Black Ram, his channel. Actually, I'm Top Gun. Go put Black Ram's channel in the link. If not, I'll pull it in for you, Ram. Hold tight.
Okay, appreciate that.
Let me see if I can find it right now. Hold tight. And I'm gonna put your channel in the link. Hold tight. Give me 1 minute. Like I said, guys, Black Ram is one of the OGs. He's one of the original OGs in this space. Is always dropping that fire for your mind. Let me see. Black Ram. And Black Ram, some of the videos you got, man, did extremely well, man.
Some of them, a few here and there.
yeah. A lot. Hold tight. A lot of your videos did very well. Hold tight. The one I'm looking at now, 8 signs that will symbolize that she's cheating on you. All right, so guys, go check out Black Ram. Let me put it in the link. Check out.
Oh yeah, that's an old video. The 8 signs of cheating. That was like,
right.
I think I did that video in 2013 or 2014. Yeah, that's an old one right there.
Okay. All right. So guys, Black Ram channel is in the link. Guys, go subscribe to Black Ram. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go check out that brother. And thank you, Black Ram, once again. So let's check it out real quick, Black Ram. Let's listen to this. And this talks about RAT coach. To those that coming in, RAT stand for this. She wants your resources. She wants your attention. She wants your time. And then she wants you to settle after she gives you sex, understanding sex is mutually beneficial. So listen, guys.
Broke this morning.
No, I ain't hard broke, but I'm paying that the whole from now on. Paying that the whole.
No, but you can avoid heartbreak.
This is the one right here, Black
Ram. I am
Ram.
willing to have a living roommate that I have sexual intercourse with and help me pay for things. I don't know if I'm quite ready to call that a partner, but we will have some type of relationship. It may not be the relationship that you're looking for, because I don't know if I want to say that I'm in a relationship, but we'll work that out at a later time. But as of right now, it is very critical that I get someone in my household. Groceries high, gas high. Yeah.
What did you say about this woman, Black Ram?
Yeah, I showed this video clip a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, this is a sign of desperation. But notice she doesn't organically want a man.
She doesn't organically want a man, right?
They don't organically want you, right? Her whole claim was she needs someone to help her pay bills, and she's willing to let you move in with her and have relations with her to do it. Same thing as prostitution. but they want to slap you on your hand if you play the flat rate versus calling yourself a boyfriend or live-in or, whatever. But yeah, and we just have to keep that in mind. If she only wants you for your resources, then that means she can only be one thing. I'm gonna say this again. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If she wants to marry because of your resources, or she wants to date you because of your resources, be around you because of your resources, it only means one thing: that she is a streetwalker. Period. That's the same attitude, the same behavior.
Right.
So and when I was growing up, the guys in the hood used to tell me, you treat a chick for what she's worth. You treat an HO like an HO, and that's all I'm saying. Hey, treat them like a. Cigarette had a song called "Treat them like a prostitute."
Well, I mean, what she's doing is technically it is prostitution. It's money and resources for service. She wants resources. She wants attention. She wants time. She wants your time. And then she want to settle for sex. I mean, it's the perfect commodification of subjugation. Many men are commodities of subjugation, and they're rats. They don't know they're rats because Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed a lot more, 300 more, and they didn't know they were slaves. But many men, Black Ram, are rats. And my mission and your mission is not to allow them to be rats. They should be men. They should shine like God and the light that God put in them and be the leaders they need to be, because you're more than just a rat. And so many men, Black Ram, went to the grave with no dignity. Men are in jail right now, Black Ram, because they didn't have any dignity. And men are in jail, Black Ram, because the women they're dealing with made them rats. They made them rats. And Black Ram, Al Grease and I are doing a movie. I told you about it. I know you know brother Al Grease. We're going to be in the movie Frustrated 3, and it's going to be dropping real soon. And it talks about a lot of the struggles a lot of men are talking about. Guys, if you have not clicked on the link to Al Grease movie, Frustrated 1 and Frustrated 2, go check it out. It's a good movie. He had the Frustrated 1 was good, Frustrated 2 was good, and Frustrated 3 was even better. Have you seen Frustrated 3 clip, Black Ram? Have you seen it?
I've seen the trailer for it. I've seen Frustrated 1. I don't know if I've seen Frustrated 2. And I've seen I think you did a trailer for Frustrated 3.
So you've seen it? You've seen it? You've seen it? Okay, cool. All right, great. All right. So hold tight. Let's finish looking at this real quick. And so you think this woman is basically a prostitute?
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
And comfortable with it. And many of them are proud of it. The only problem is that we haven't gotten the memo yet. We still have to try to convince men of what she's saying is actually true. And that's the tragedy. We still are out here trying to convince men that she really is what she says she is.
No doubt. Yeah, she's definitely, y'all call it Chicago, a bust down.
Oh, yeah.
We'll work it out. Just come on.
And I'm going to tell you something, Black Ram. Once you understand female nature is very predictable. They're very predictable.
Absolutely.
Very predictable, man. People say they're not really complex. Once you understand their core nature, man, you can see the shenanigans coming them out, and you know how to use something, Black Ram. Because I told folks, Black Ram, Bruce Lee said you got to be like water. And Black Ram men and many modern men, once they become like water, when these modern women try to make them rest, Black Ram, many of them on Black Ram, they're going to do this.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and
Yeah, they gotta be like water. They gotta be like water, Black Ram, because water, when it's fluid, will roll off a duck's back, because it's fluid. But see, water, when it's a force, Black Ram, is strong and it's very powerful. And it's very dominant. So there are times you got to be like water when it's fluid. But then there are times, Black Ram, when you got to be like water when it's very static. When water is at its highest pressure, it can penetrate steel. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
And so there are times you got to be malleable. You got to, be like a UFO. You got to juke in and out. Right. But then there are times, Black Ram, you got to be like steel. You got to stand firm in your convictions as a man. Because see, watch this. The mental gymnastics are coming. The Jedi mind tricks are coming, Black Ram. But you got to be like water. You got to use mental kung fu on these modern women, because they're going to try to get you and make you a rat.
Sir.
Yeah, they're trying to make you a rat, Black Ram. Hold tight. Here you go. All right, where's it?
A woman that friend zones a man after he expresses interest in having a romantic relationship with her, that then still allows, solicits, and expects that man to invest his vulnerability, time, and energy into her in the name of friendship, that woman is a fuckboy.
Attention. Many of them, Black Ram, want attention. They really don't have no desire to have a romantic relationship with you, but they want you to be a male orbiter, to orbit around them. They ain't gonna ever give you the cat, you're gonna jump through hoops, and it's very denigrating, because I think the attention factor could be more denigrating, Black Ram, than the resources, the time. Well, maybe I think the time is the worst one, because you can't get your time back.
Can't get that back.
Right, but the attention factor probably will come second. What did you learn about women and female nature as it relates to them wanting free attention without giving anything in return? What is your take on that, man?
I was having a conversation with my brother, the last Crucible, and he mentioned something that bears repeating here. He called me one day. He was like, "Hey," and the people who are familiar with my channel know who the last Crucible is. Shout out to him. But he said, "Hey, Ram, got a thought for you." I said, "What is it, brother?" He said, "You know that feeling you get when you see a beautiful woman, young woman that you're attracted to?" I said, "Man, yeah, I remember that feeling, and I know what that feeling is." And she's like, she get that same feeling with a man with money, and that same feeling when you give her attention. So here's the thing: what I learned about female nature.
Mm-hmm.
The attention is also orgasmic for her.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Because she wants all eyes on her.
On her, right.
She needs all eyes on her, and she needs your validation, and she needs your approval. She needs your stares, your catcalling. She needs that in order to feel complete and good about herself. Now, she doesn't need you.
Right.
She just wants you as a fan.
She wants your light.
Exactly. She's going to look at you as a fan, but nevertheless, she dwells on that. This is why they wear their hair, the nails, the makeup. Yeah, it's for other women, but it's also to get attention from men too, because the creature is extremely solipsistic and narcissistic and wants all the attention in the world. And even all the attention in the world is still not good enough.
Right. Right. I totally agree, man. And what did you learn about giving women attention, as you evolved to become the man that you are now? What did you learn about just giving a woman your attention? You gave her free attention.
It's best to starve them of it and make them work for it.
Right.
Starve them of it and make them work for it. And the way I would do that is by being frugal with my time, because my time is too valuable. So once I get into a woman, once I dig my claws in her like I want to, if she's going to come around me, you have to be doing something. Cleaning my house, washing my dishes, cooking me dinner, rubbing my back, rubbing my feet, washing my clothes. Got to be doing something.
Right.
You can't just come over here and expect me to flood you with love, affection, and attention. You have to earn.
You got to earn it. Right.
And believe it or not, they respect you more.
They respect you more.
Because what I've found, if you really bossing up on a woman, they actually want to be given a job to do. They actually want to be told what to do and how to do it. You just have to be the man that demands it and be the man that's willing to lose her because of it, because your principles comes first. If you can do that, if you can put your principles above yourself and above her and maintain those principles and stay on that standard, either she's going to submit or quit. And you should be fine with either one of them.
Either one.
If she go fine, if she stay fine.
Right. Because you're going to win either way. Either way, you're going to win. If she submit, you're going to win. But if she quit, you're going to win, because now she ain't wasting your time. So it's a win-win for you if you understand how female nature works. All right, here you go.
Exactly. So do it with no fear whatsoever of the outcome.
Hey, look, there goes some blood. It went down. Over my homie, my day one homie that I rock with. Y'all know who I rock with. That day one homie popped me over a shot that wasn't even his. A nigga shot me about a shot that wasn't even his.
That's Raekwon the Red. Many men have gone by the way of the grave because Raekwon the Red, he not only try to do things for his mama, but many times Black Ram, Raekwon the Red is also Raekwon the Red is a Silver Surfer.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
Yeah, he don't feel like he got no choice. You know, Raekwon the rat don't feel like he got no choice. He felt like he had to pop that man for the sake of his woman. Just like the man in New York that lost his life, Black Ram. He lost his life trying to defend a woman's honor, a woman that probably had multiple kids by multiple men. And you know, you hear these modern women say, where did chivalry go? You know, where did chivalry go? Where did the men go? And they're the reason why chivalry went away. See, men were chivalrous, Black Ram, when men had a reason to be chivalrous. When the women were ladies, when the women were chaste, when the women were honorable, when the women were disciplined. You can never have a woman to love you unless she is a disciplined woman. If she cannot discipline and harness her emotions, she's not ready for the mission of being your woman. She got to be a disciplined woman, like the Proverbs 31 woman. But these women there are not disciplined. They are slaves to their feelings. They're slaves. They don't have any self-awareness, Black Ram. When things go wrong, you know, it's Black Ram's fault. You know, they don't know how to control themselves. You know, they get in their feelings, and then the next thing you know, you lose your livelihood. You might lose your life. And also, you might lose everything you work hard for. That's why I tell all these men, Black Ram, there's a king inside of all these men. Even though I don't believe every man is a king, all men have king qualities because they are the first fruits of God's creation. And but see, when you get these emotional men that have simp qualities, they will destroy you and destroy everything that you work for. Next video real quick. I know you got to go real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Cortez Smith, can you send me the video that you're talking about? I just want to know if Cortez Smith can send me the video.
Yeah. Cortez, send Black Ram that and also send it to me. I would love to see it as well, but send that to Black Ram for Black Ram to check it out, okay? Send it to Cortez, send it to Black Ram. Black Ram, I'll put your address in, send it to me in the back, and I'll put your address for Cortez, or I'll just go back on.
It's just blackram313@gmail.com. Cortez got my email.
Okay, cool. All right.
Had enough, because there came a point where, to me, there was really only two options. It was either get divorced or put a shotgun in my mouth and call it a day. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of where I got. And so obviously I chose divorce over the shotgun, because I did not want to live another moment the way I was living. It's like, if this is all life is meant to be for me, and if this is all I am meant to be to her, to life, then I don't want to do it. Fuck this. I'd rather be dead.
White men are going through it. White men are going through it, man. They're going through it probably worse than black men. But many are taking their lives. Many are saying, you know, enough is enough. I know men, Black Ram, that haven't had sex in years. I mean, years. Can you imagine being with a woman you still paying bills? And she'll say, I love the Lord on Sunday, but disobeying God because she's not giving you her body, because it's not her body anymore. It's y'all's body. Your body is not your body, and her body is not her body. Y'all become one. So y'all gotta, like in a symbiosis, Black Ram, you both gotta feed off one another. So if you starving one, it's abuse. Am I talking right? Absolutely. It's abuse when you're starving your partner for affection. But then, you'll get mad when he decides to go out here and get it from somewhere else and start crying. Oh, how dare you? I can't believe you cheated on me. What did you expect him to do? He didn't cheat. Actually, you're the one that was cheating, because you deprived him of what was the due benevolence. The due benevolence is what's due to a man. Exactly. And also that man should be taking care of you. All right, hold tight. Here's the next.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Cortez.
Society's always telling women, know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But we act like men aren't supposed to know their worth. And people take issue when a man knows his worth. Men should know their worth just as much as a woman. You have to understand you have value here. You are just as important to this relationship as she is. So just as you need to give to her, she needs to give to you. It's a two-way street. And I think more importantly, you have to get to a point where you are not afraid if she walks away from you. Yeah, the reality is that men, especially good men, get caught up in the fear of losing her, that they do everything in their power to keep her, not realizing that now, rather than losing her, you're losing yourself.
What's your take on that, Black Ram? You just said it a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely correct. And not only will you lose yourself, you're going to end up losing her anyway, because there's nothing a man can do to make a woman stay. No matter how much money you got, no matter how tall you got, no matter how big your bip is, no matter how much game you got, she will always leave. There's nothing any man can do in the whole world to make a woman stay. It's impossible. She wants to go. And you have to have enough about yourself and in yourself to just let her do so. Absolutely.
Black Ram, when you were in your darkest moments, and you can share what you want to share, did you ever become suicidal? Because you talk about something, you said there's no line in therapy. Did Black Ram ever become, well, you didn't, I know you didn't attempt it, but did the thought ever come into your head when you was in your darkest moment due to the pain of hurt?
Not over a woman. So I've never felt suicidal over a woman, but over the issues of life plus a woman. You get what I'm saying? Right. So it wasn't just, okay, just a female. It's that my life was on this trajectory and my lady acting a fool. So it's like, well, damn, I don't have no place of refuge, no place to turn to. I got trouble on the left, trouble on the right, trouble behind me, trouble in front of me, trouble with my lady. I have nowhere to rest. I have no refuge, no comfort. So it's like, well, damn, I'm in a war zone. I'm tired. I want to rest. So yeah, in those situations, yeah, absolutely.
As men continue to grow, as men continue to evolve, what have you seen about men as they begin to de-evolve over negative socialization? We know that the majority of men are simps. When you try to give men this knowledge or this light, men don't understand it or can receive it. But what are you seeing, Black Ram, as it relates to the evolution of many men as they begin to take their power back? We know some are taking it back slowly, but have you seen it in a Herculean level now, or do you feel like it's still underdeveloped?
I still think it's underdeveloped. Your typical man is a simp at heart through and through, and whether that be thuggo, whether it be guys with more education, whether it be older men or younger men, men are still simps through and through. And the reason why I know this is because you can take an out of shape, middle-aged European female that got 3 kids and everything is sagging. She can get on OnlyFans and make $100,000 a year.
Wow.
I ain't even mentioning it. I didn't even mention the beautiful women. So simps are making HOs millionaires on the daily. Now think about the time we live in, Kosha, where a woman can just go and take off a shirt in front of a camera and become a multi-millionaire. I did a story about a woman selling farts in a jar, and she made over $200,000 a year selling her farts. Another woman made close to $500,000 a year by selling her poop in a jar. So the world has so many simps, man. So although, again, this space is small, but the average guy, not you guys are the best and the brightest, but your average guy is truly, truly a simp. And we know this because they're making HOs richer than ever before. There's never been a time where a woman could just get money just for being. I had a girl tell me that one time she was riding down the street and her back window was open. And a guy just rolled up and threw a wad of money in her backseat and kept riding.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Just rewarding her for being female. So this is the time we live in. So the only thing that's going to change that is the economic downfall. But other than that, men will continue to be simps. So I say I want to say 99.5% of men are simps.
Yeah, and I think Black Ram has gotten worse, man, because most of these men, and I think maybe a lot of millennials and zennials, are 80s and 90s babies. They never saw true masculinity. Right. You and I remember a time when men were men. The stuff that men tolerate now for wives and girlfriends, we didn't even look at it. That's why
not at all.
Chicks say, come to me. I wouldn't. Chicks that had babies when I was coming out of high school, I didn't even look at them. It don't mean that they were bad people. They could have been good people, but
we looked at them in a certain way, and they were like women that you didn't really want to touch because her name was already skewed. I'm old enough to remember that there were times when a woman would get pregnant, you wouldn't see her no more because out of the shame, her family would move her somewhere. Of course, we don't have that time now because it's become more pervasive in the culture. Right. But it was a shameful thing at one point in time for a woman to have children out of wedlock, and that was still somewhat present in the 80s. But once the 90s hit, it was over with.
Yeah, I totally agree. Black Ram, I know you got to go, and I'm going to ask you a question with this last question before you go. Okay. But before I ask you this question, guys, I need you to feed that robot because inflation is high and get them likes up.
the part of the show where we find solutions.
All right. The solutions moving forward, Black Ram. You know, there was an old gospel song said there's a leak in this old building. My soul got to move. What are the solutions moving forward, Black Ram? You have talked about a lot of practical things over the year with your channel. You talked about passport game, cryptocurrency, even though crypto is in a crisis right now. But what are the solutions, Black Ram, moving forward for Black men in a time when the world is becoming unwind and unglued? What are the solutions?
That's a great question. So there's a couple of ways we can tackle that. First of all, you know, men, we make our moves with money, and we make our moves with money, we move with money, right? We make our moves with money and we make money moves, I should say. So the first thing, of course, is hustling and saving your money. That's important. Then, of course, investing your money. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't really tell you what to invest in. For me, it's cryptocurrency and a few other things, but invest your money. Invest in yourself. And once you get that money, the goal should be, if you can't do it all the time, if you can't do it permanently, is to travel. I really do think, Kosher, that traveling opens up a man's eyesight.
I totally agree.
It does something for you. And it's not about just the women. It really puts you in a different perspective.
I totally agree. Of life. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And the world is big, and it's natural for us to travel. And for guys who can't, there are solutions. If you can't go and live somewhere permanently because you have a job, I was telling the brother the other day, because I do one-on-one consultations, and I was telling the guy, I said, hey, man, brother, you're a truck driver. You could literally take off for 6 months. You know, he worked for a truck driving company. He doesn't own his own. I said, brother, you got a good driving record. You can tell your company, hey, you give them a 30-day notice, a 2-week notice, say, hey, I'm going to be out of the country for a while. I like this job. I would like to come back. My CDL is in good standing. I'm in good standing with this company, and they will hire you. Well, if you're a truck driver, you got that CDL, you have that option. And that's just one. You have that option to say, hey, I'm going to work my ASS off for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and I'm going to take a year off. I heard a woman say this, and I thought it was brilliant. She talked about temporary retirement. See, here's the thing, the problem that we have as men. We get caught in this rat race in the American dream. And we always want to say, well, when I get my 60s and 70s, then I'll travel, then I'll enjoy life. No,
you got to enjoy it now. Right.
You got to enjoy that now. So for those who can afford to take time out and have the wherewithal to do it, that's definitely something you should do. And that is part of the solution right there. If you're a school teacher, you can say, hey, I'm going to take off for a couple of years and come back, because they're going to always hire teachers. They're going to always hire truck drivers. Now, my particular career field, once I resign, that's it. They're not going to hire me again. And no one will hire me again, because in law enforcement, they have age restrictions and so on and so forth. But for guys who can step away from their jobs, at least for 6 months to a year, one time in your life, you might want to do that. And other than that, I believe in investing your money, getting some money, and be either expat or live a lot of your time overseas to get out of this matrix, to get out of America and breathe, and actually have a little bit of time outside of this place that works so hard against you. And this is the only place in the world where they have this kind of hatred for you. Don't get me wrong. If you go to certain places like Poland, they're not necessarily 100% friendly toward you, but you're not going to see the concentrated effort for your demise anywhere else like you see here in America, from what I've been told.
No, I totally agree, man. Listen, man, it's been a pleasure, man, with you coming on. I look forward to coming to your venue soon. I know you got to go to work in the morning and get your shoulder looked at. But thank you, Black Ram, for coming on, disseminating knowledge to the brothers.
Appreciate you.
And, I just wanted to come up with a catchy term called rest, because, we don't want men to be diminished to being rest. So anyway, Black Ram, get your rest, man. Get your shoulder.
Appreciate you, brother. And I want to thank you for inviting me, and also want to thank you for coming on my show this past Thursday on Behind the Veil. Appreciate that.
Okay.
We'll chat soon, my brother.
And like I said, let me know when you want to do the one. I know it'll probably have to come out from Colombia, but let me know when you want me to come on and do another show with you.
Absolutely.
Once you get back from Colombia. All right. Take care, Black Ram. Thank you,
all right, brother. Appreciate
much love and blessing. All right. Be good. All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys, you guys heard it from Black Ram 313, the Aryan. But I wanted to do this show for you guys, man, because rats is part of thinking errors, but also, guys, rats is part of men being simp. So shout out to my man, Dr. Thunder, two of my brothers in the struggle, no doubt. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder, you can come on the platform, man, if you want to add to the conversation, because Dr. Thunder, at one time, you were a rat. We all have been rats, and many times y'all become rats, guys, because y'all have also, some of you men have been conditioned to be, once again, simp surfers.
These men are coming together. They must be stopped. Who hurt these petty fools? Their mama is black. Who hurt them? They must be gay. I must go cause confusion.
Yeah. You guys got to cause confusion. Most simp surfers seek to cause confusions because they don't know how much power that they have. And that's why I do these shows, guys. I do these shows to bring clarity to the struggles of men, but also to give men options to help them become better versions of themselves. As I told you guys in the past, that there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. Faith, family, finances, female psychology, world travel, politics, and male mental and physical health. Once you go to those 7 obstacle courses, you become optimized. Everything becomes a lot more clear, and you're no longer a slave in a world where men are not valued and respected. There are some men that are listening right now that are good men. They're great men, but you've given your power away so much, you don't know what respect looks like. You've lost yourself. You've lost yourself in bad relationships. You men have lost yourself with women that don't honor you and respect you. And right now, some of you brothers are going home every night tired and broken and crying because you're not with a woman that can honor you and respect you as a man. Many of you guys, when you go home, you're so broken and tired and frustrated from the woman that you're dealing with, you're looking like this. Yeah, many of you brothers are married and alone. She's using you for your resources. She's using you for your attention. And she's also using you for your time. And the only thing she's going to give you in return is sex for the ring. And see, you compromise your power if the only thing you want from a woman is sex. Because see, watch this. She gave it to Raekwon the Man for free, but she wants you to pay full price for it. And that's why you got to have standards higher than your desire to have sex with a woman, because at the end of the day, many times once they get you in the relationship, the sex stops anyway. And based on what my notes are saying, it's in a woman's biological imperative to survive. And what men got for fair exchange in the past was what I talked about in the past, chastity and all of that. But once again, men and women, both men, not women, but men are going through, white men, black men, and also Hispanic men are victims of rat culture, resources, attention, time, and security for sex. That's what women are looking for. But the question is, are you guys going to be slaves to the trap of a woman making you a rat? The link has been dropped, guys. If you want to come up and add to the conversation and talk about the times you've been a rat, the link has been dropped. Feel free to drop in. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep talking about what I had before Black Ram came on, because the next letter is A, which is attention. Many women seek attention through social media. Some of you guys got girlfriends, or some of you guys got wives, but some of these women got more attention and are still getting attention from men left and right. If you had the password to her phone, you would see that many times she's interacting with other men, even though she's in a relationship with you. And so, but she says she want an honest man. She want a man that's going to respect her. But she's cheating by default because she's having or giving other men the time and the attention and affection she should be giving you. And you should never allow that as a man because it's not beneficial to your psyche. So not only are you competing for her love and affection, she's also giving that affection and attention to other men as well. And so you can never win with many modern women because you're always like a rat. You're always going through this negative cycle. And many times, guys, you're going nowhere because just like a rat, you never get anywhere when you're in that negative wheel of hers, which is often on her head. Yeah, and that's what many modern women have reduced you to. They have reduced you guys to being just a rat. And when you think about a rat really has no value. A rat is a scavenger. A rat is the lowest common denominator of an animal. It lives in trash cans. It lives in the sewer. It carries diseases. Edward Anderson talked about a term called mentally transmitted diseases, and he's correct. And so you become a rat and a slave to her emotions and her feelings. Once again, resources, attention, time, and security for the sake of sex. And if you're anybody using this term rat in this space, know that they stole it from me or got it from me. So, but many are becoming rats and they want you to become their rat, and you continue to go in that negative cycle trying to get validation, trying to get honor, trying to get respect. And many times what you get in the end is nothing. As I said before, guys, in the past, honor yourself as a man. Never indignify your worth as a man. Love yourself, respect yourself, set limits and set boundaries, because watch this, what you value will determine what your boundaries are. I'm gonna say it again. I tell my clients all the time, what your values are will be predicated on what your boundaries are. When you have values based on high boundaries, then that woman cannot do anything to cause you to fall off your square as a man. If you get a good woman that can respect your values and respect your boundaries, that's a woman you should keep. But by and large, you cannot be a condition or a servant to sex alone, because you will become a rat. Shout out to my man, a man supporting man, for the $2 super sticker. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that 100%. And I think somebody else, guys, gave me a cash out. Let me check on it real quick. Shout out to my man, Mandate. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Mandate sent me a $5 super sticker showing support, and I appreciate it, Mandate, brother. Thank you, and that's a cash out. So once again, guys, the link has been dropped. The link has been dropped. If you want to come up and add to the conversation about how you have become a rat, the link has been dropped, because some of you right now are rats. You don't know that you're a rat. You don't know that you're giving her free attention. You don't know that she never see you or never will qualify you as being her boyfriend, her man. You don't know it. You think she's going to give you a chance. Some of y'all have been rats for years. Some of you still orbiting around women and giving her free attention. She's only giving you a sniff of a potential to be her man. While she's giving to the man that she really desires, she's giving to him for free. But see, once her options are gone, and once she found out he's not going to put a ring on her finger, then she's going to come and give you the leftovers, and she's going to make you earn that vagina. But on the flip side, she's going to say, well, you can't get none until you put a ring on my finger. So once again, resources, attention, time. Then she wants you to settle in order to get the sex. And what that does, that makes you a rat. You become a rat. That's what you are. You're a rat. You don't know that you're a rat, but you are a rat. And see, most folks won't tell you this, because, some of these game coaches will tell you, you got to do all of this and whatever. Listen, if you want to waste your time with modern women using game, go ahead. Sometimes game is necessary. I'm not saying that game can't be used, in a basic way. But by and large, you're a man of purpose and principle, and you got higher values for yourself. What are you using game on? Using game for what? What are you getting? I can see you using game to catch some quality, because see, back in the past, people use bait. Bait was a type of game to get the animal that they wanted. Most men, most hunters use bait to get the top tier or the top shelf animal. But what are you using bait for now? You're not using bait for quality. You're not getting a quality woman many times in these modern times. There are some good women that are left. I think it's a remnant. I don't know the percentage, but there are some decent, good sisters that need to be uncovered and exposed. Some of these women are striving and they're changing. But by and large, if your standards are high, it's going to be very hard to find a traditional woman that honors and respects you as a man. It's going to be hard to find a woman that may not have children. It's going to be hard to find women that have not had a lot of fun. And, what are you getting in return? Nothing. You're not getting anything. Don't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that a virgin is necessarily the right woman either, because you can have some virgins that are not wife ready and they still are not good women. Sometimes a woman that made a few mistakes might be an okay woman. But by and large, it depends on what you want as a man if your standards are very high. What are your standards? What are your values? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? So once again, attention, social media addiction. Social media addiction is at an all-time high. Did you guys know that most human beings are dopamine addicts? YouTube will make you a dopamine addict. Some of the women that you are dealing with are dopamine addicts. They get addicted to what's called electronics. In the clinical world, we call it electronic gaming addiction. They get addicted to looking at themselves in the mirror. You see them all the time with the duck lips, got the lips poked out, all in the camera. They always constantly taking selfies all the time. They got narcissistic traits. When you go out with them, they ain't paying no attention to you. They're on their phone because they are addicted to the attention that they are getting. And see, what you're doing, you're constantly validating that narcissistic supply, and you're not getting anything in return but her and her duck lips, and she taking pictures, with her lips poked out, and you're not getting anything in return. And you just sitting around being goofy, hanging around or orbiting around her with the hopes that you're going to get a sniff of something she gave for other guys for free. You cannot indignify yourself as a man. You cannot become a rat to modern women because they will not respect you. Human beings only respect what they have to earn. If you're a man, men know it. Women, they're like easy. Men don't respect it. They'll take it, but they don't respect the woman for it. In general, they don't. And women don't respect men that give their money away. They don't respect suckers that give their money away. And they sure as hell don't respect simps. Simps think, I'm going to take up for it and talk about men. Most women know when men are faking. Most men know when women are front or stunting. Most women know it. But some of you guys think, well, I'm just going to be nice to her and tell her what she want to hear so I can get some brownie points. No, you be a man. You'd rather have a woman respect you and not be in your life than a woman pretending to like you, but behind the scenes, she hates you. I'd rather have a woman respect me and not like me than have a woman like me and don't respect me. I'm going to say it again. I'd rather have a woman that respect me, but she doesn't like me versus a woman that like me, but she don't respect me. Because see, watch this, when she respect me, she's not going to do anything that's going to go against my value system or my boundaries as a man. Some of you men must stop being rats. Some of you men are just rats. Y'all are rats. And you don't even know that you're a rat. And you've been rats for years. Resources. You give your resources away for free. You give your attention away for free. You give your time away for free in the hope of sex. And many times she wants you to settle. She wants you to settle on something that's depreciating. And you're not getting anything in return for it but a headache, and many times a hard penis. Shout out to my man D May for that $5 super stick. He said, thank you, my brother. Shout out to you and Richie Mack and the Angry Man, no doubt. I appreciate it. D May, thank you 100%. And also, guys, another question I'm gonna ask you guys. You guys have seen it. Your time, your greatest asset, guys, which is the last T, is time. Time is your greatest asset. For time, it waits for no man. Time waits for no man. I remember, guys, it was just like yesterday when I had my AOL account and I was 34 years old. And I said, I got time. I said, I got time. And I looked up, 16 years went by just like that. And now I'll be 51 this year. So time, guys, wait for no man. Just like Black Ram said, just like I'm saying, time waits for no man. That's why you need to travel. Once you begin to travel and see the world for what it is, because this world is big, you will never see the world the same again. You'll never see America the same. Not saying that you don't have issues in other countries, but once you begin to travel outside of America because you're frustrated, it means you are frustrated, you will never see the world again. In the meantime, those have not seen the trailer Frustrated 3, I'm about to play it now.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is
you strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have. So many of you men are frustrated because you are rats. You are rats running in a circus, running in a wheel in America where you're not getting honored and respected. I think my man called a man supporting men say you should take that rat and you need to flip it and become a star. I'm going to do a show on how to become a star because being a rat is at its lowest common denominator. It's no value in being a rat because rats don't get the best. Rats eat out of the trash can. Rats live in the field. Rats are scavengers. Rats carry diseases, and many of you men are carrying diseases inside your mind. You can't even think straight because you are a rat. You know, don't know what your worth is, don't know what your value is because you men have become rats. You're a rat, you know. You don't know it, sadly. You know, Harriet Tubman said she could have freed a lot more if you didn't already know that you were a rat if she was living today. And you keep giving your value away for free. Once again, your time is very valuable. I lost my cousin back in 2021. I didn't know he had passed away. I lost my sister back in February of this year. And then also I lost another classmate. She died of cancer. And see, I remember when I was graduating back in 1999, they said that the clock of time waits for no man, and it doesn't. Half of my life is over, and I'm praying that God will give me another 40 years on this earth. I'm going to speak it in faith and speak it into existence that God going to let me live for a long time. But if he choose not to let me live, I would say for the most part, I've lived a decent life for the most part. But your time, guys, should be used for your personal development. It should not be used for modern women to not honor and respect you, but your time should be used for your personal development. It should be used for building your finances. It should be used for building your mind. It should be used for building your body. It should be used for you coming up with standards that when you decide to bring a woman into your life, she's going to fall in line and respect your program. But sadly, many of them can't fall in line because they have not been trained, guys, to be wives. They haven't been trained to do it. They've been trained to do it because, watch this, even though it's inside of them to do it, it's intrinsic. It's a concept called nurture versus nature. It's intrinsic, extrinsic. It's inside of her. But see, the key is this, will she use it, guys, to come and fall into line and to honor you as a man? Don't continue to waste your time in an area, in a refuge where you're not honored and respected as a man. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. And some of you guys have been in relationships where you're just existing. You're not even living, you are just existing. In the clinical world, we call it an existentialist crisis. And many times, guys, the last stage before you die is called ego integrity versus despair. That's when you're in your 70s and your 80s. And you realize that your time on this earth is about over. And then you ask yourself the question, did I live a fruitful life? Did I enjoy my life? Or did I just exist? And many times men fall into deep depression where they can't be mobile or where they can't enjoy life anymore because they are old now. They can't get around because they are old. And because they're old, they sit back in sadness and they sit back in pain and fear. And they say, DAM, I never lived. I didn't live my life on purpose. I did not prioritize my time. I cast my pearls to swine. I didn't get nothing out of this miracle or this gift called life. And that's a bad way to die when you're on your deathbed before you take your last breath. You're looking back over your life and you realize I haven't done anything that's beneficial to me and also to my well-being as a man. I haven't dignified myself as a man instead of living my life at its fullness. And you should never be one of those men. As I said before, my cousin, he passed away. A good brother. It hurt me to my heart when I found out that he died. And he probably was a very hard worker, just like Kevin Samuels, hard worker. But see, what is the purpose, guys, when you work like a slave, or sometimes, you let greed get in your heart, and you work so much trying to chase money that you abuse your health, and then you wake up and you're dead. You're not going to take this money with you. Money is just a tool to use to be a blessing to others, but you're not going to take it to you or with you in the afterlife. Money is just a commodity. It's just a tool. But the love of money is the beginning of all kinds of evil. Money is just a tool to help you get through this world, but also a tool to make other people's lives a lot less harder. That's what money is about. Langston Hughes once said, what happens when dreams become deferred? That's what Langston Hughes said. Some of you guys have been abusing your time so much, the dreams that were birthed inside of you, you've lost what it was to dream again. Some of you have been in relationships that are so horrible that you lost yourself in those relationships, and the dreams that you had before you got with that woman. Now your dreams have been deferred because she has not been a facilitator of your dreams. A woman, guys, should be a facilitator of your dreams. She should help facilitate your vision and your mission. You should already have an idea of what you're trying to do coming into a relationship. But once you birth that vision into the heart of your woman, then she should help facilitate that vision and that dream. But a woman is not a facilitator of that dream as a hindrance to you, and that woman is playing a role in making you guys become a rat. You should never become a rat to a woman that's not giving you the power to become the best version of yourself as a man. The last stage is called sex for settlement. After she's had her fun, and many of them had fun, and all the virtue's gone, she want to give you her body when it's greatly reduced. And you realize, by that time, you're not getting anything great, because, if you're raising your sons to be kosher or to be Jews or Muslims or to respect themselves and get a quality woman, then what is she going to give you when she's giving away to so many? And by the time you get with it, she has so much fun, sex is boring to her. You thinking, I'm going to give her my resources and my time, and I'm going to put a ring on her finger. But if she's had a lot of fun, by the time you get to it, sex is stupid. Sex, I don't want those. Sex is boring. I give it to you when I want to give it to you. But now you're stuck. You're in a relationship, and now you can't get out. That's why you shouldn't be a rat, and that's why you should set standards and values that are going to more or less fortify boundaries for you as a man. And that's why many guys are many times are dealing with women that are constantly trying to bargain sex for companionship. Just like what this woman said, and I'm going to go back and play it again. Hold tight. Look at what this woman said, guys. Hold tight. This is what this woman said. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Heartbreak, rejection, confusion. A lot of men are just out here lost. Waking up every day is a miracle. Some people go to sleep and will be all right. We're not waking up.
Why do so many women end up with...
Many men would be all right without waking up because they've been reduced to being a rat. They've been reduced. They have been reduced to being a rat. Shout out to my man supporting men. He said that catching the play black Ram didn't get the black BMW, but he got the Lexus now, LOL. They clown you, your Levi's, but Levi's are the go-to jeans now, no doubt. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to, what's the brother's name? Real Talk. Real Talk said, TKC, when men live through spiritually, they identify their purpose and execute said purpose with the time God gave them. When men find their best purpose in chest beating and ego inflating by procuring these Babylonian beasts, they've lost. And that's a deal, right? I'll give you 100% real talk. Thank you, brother, for that $20 super stick. I appreciate it, brother. Much love and blessings to you and all the brothers that have donated on tonight. I really greatly appreciate you guys. Alton Prayer is always, man, Alton Prayer is killing the game. Alton Prayer showed me so much love. Ray Johnson, man. Guys, I really appreciate it because these shows are very time consuming, and it makes it worth my time when you guys pour into me. And when you pour into me as I put these shows together, it helps me pour back into you guys. And because of that, guys, I'm forever grateful. And I appreciate everything that you brothers are doing. The men that don't have any money, the fact that you're taking your time to watch this show, men and women, the good sisters that are watching, I greatly appreciate it and salute out to all of you guys. And honor and blessings goes out to you guys. But the next step, guys, is settle. She wants you to settle. She wants you to settle, guys, for sex. 70 to 90% of divorces, guys, are initiated by women. They're not initiated by men. And she wants you to settle after she's had all her fun. After she's had the fun, then she wants a good guy. You know, that's why many men call Russell Wilson a simp, because, you know, Sierra had a lot of fun. And, you know, many don't want Sierra's prayer. They want Sierra's prayer after they had their fun. And that's why many men think Russell is a simp, because Russell could have got superior to Sierra. Russell's not a bad-looking dude. He's an athlete, you know, but Russell could have got better, but he didn't. He doesn't know any better, because Russell Wilson has been reduced to being a rat too. She wanted his resources. She wanted his attention. She wanted his time. But she said, you know, you ain't going to get no sex until you get ready to settle with me. But, you know, she didn't make the other men settle. And see, guys, what you don't understand is this. Some women get imprinted through men sexually. And so if you get a woman that's been imprinted heavily by another man, it's nothing you can do to break that imprint. It's going to be very hard to break that imprint if she got with a man that she's highly imprinted by. You're dealing with a woman that got a lot of issues. And she might cheat on you unbeknownst to you. She may not act on it, but she might think about the times she had fun with that last guy that blew her back out, made her toes curl like that witch on the Wizard of Oz. You know, you up there humping like the Lone Ranger, but you can't do anything for her, because Raekwon blew her back out. He made her feel real good. Her toes were curled up like that witch on the Wizard of Oz. And you think you're doing something. But see, she played you for a fool because she made you her rat. And you walking around thinking you're doing something. Baby, am I best? Am I good, baby? She just saying, yeah, tell me what you want to hear. But she know in the back of her mind that Raekwon is what really made her toes curl. And that's why you have to know and vet women properly. And you can never vet a woman 100%, but you have to know how to vet a woman properly. So once again, guys, the link has been dropped. The link has been dropped. If you guys want to have a conversation, if you guys want to have a conversation, come on in. Let's have a conversation about rat behavior, because we don't want you guys. we don't want you guys being rats. We don't want you guys being a rat. We don't want you guys having rat behavior. If you want to come in, the link has been dropped. Because once again, there are a lot of simp servers out here. But in the meantime, guys, I need you guys to get the likes up and feed the robot. All right, so guys, the link has been dropped. If you want to come in, feel free to come in. But in the meantime, let me continue to view this clip. Hold tight.
Subpar men.
Because they're subpar women. Well, you think you're all perfect? No. Most of you are mediocre or less, and you ended up with pretty much exactly where you're at. So the answer is, the reason why so many people or so many women end up with subpar men is because there are so many subpar women. That's it.
So you just gonna pay for pussy for the rest of your life?
I'm paying the whole. Yeah, because relationships do not work for me.
I just can't understand why you saying this morning.
I won't be heartbroken, no feelings, hurt, none of that. I pay the whole. After I pay the whole, get what I want, they go their way, I go my way. I'm paying at the whole for me.
Men's, do y'all agree with him?
Hell yeah, they agree. Hell yeah, they agree.
I'ma see.
I hope the married ones don't, though. But the single ones, yeah. Pay at the hole, boy. Pay at the hole. You won't get heartbroken because these women ain't gonna do right. They go both ways, though.
You heartbroken this morning?
No, I ain't heartbroken, but I'm paying at the hole from now on. Yeah, paying at the hole.
I mean, at this point, as high as everything is, I am willing to have a living roommate that I have sexual intercourse.
And once again, guys, that's rat behavior. Listen to what she's saying. Now, here's the catch-all. She wants you to give her the commodity of resources and in the return of the hope of sex. But see, that's dangerous because imagine if you get this woman pregnant. If you get this woman pregnant, then you're going to be on the hook for child support. Did you guys know that Republicans pass bills or they pass laws where if you get a woman pregnant, you could be on the hook? Let me see if I can find it. Pass law, pass bill. Okay, about abortion and pregnancy. Hold tight. Deletion and pregnancy. I'm sorry. But anyway, this woman can get you guys on the hook. And there's a law now, I believe by Republicans, that says, or more or less states, that if a woman is pregnant, you got to begin paying child support, even though you have not identified if the child is yours. So guys, this can be very dangerous. This can be very dangerous. And you got to watch out for women like this because times are getting very desperate.
And help me pay for things. I don't know if I'm quite ready to call that a partner, but...
And see, she's a model woman because she said partner. She said, I don't know if I'm willing to call that partner. But see, these relationships, guys, you're dealing with a woman that have not fully submitted to you as a man. She's not going to submit to your authority. She want to see you as a partner, which in essence is just, you still a rat. You might get a higher status, but you still just a rat. She sees for somebody primarily as resources. She wants some sex too, even though you think she's doing you a favor. You're doing her a favor too because she's getting something in the end. But she want to see you as resources, attention, time, and also sex. This woman is trying to make you a rat. Shout out to my man Mandate. Mandate said at the Coach Clinic, there's no paternity test clause in the law either. So men will lose getting with these Western women. Yes, they will lose. And you're right, Mandate. And what happened, imagine. Man, you guys are wild, man. Shout out to Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence said they really think that a blown out is a reward. He said, shaking my D here. If she's not a virgin, her blank is only for a bucket to catch. Dude, you wild. Dude, you are wild. You are wild. You're wild, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, wild.
We will have some type of relationship. It may not be.
And listen, she's setting all the terms, guys. She's not even telling you what the terms are. She's setting the terms. She's telling you. She's leading you instead of you leading her. So by and large, you are still, guys, you're still a rat. You don't know that you're a rat, but you are still a rat because this woman, she's going to lead you in the relationship instead of you leading her in the relationship. You are still a rat. You're her scavenger. And when she gets sick of you, and many of them do, then if the economy get better, then guess what? She's going to probably throw you out, especially if you're subpar in sex and also if you're not technically her type. Because sometimes women will tolerate a guy that's not their type for the sake of resources. Because remember, women by nature are survivalists. They're insular creatures. Keep listening.
The relationship that you're looking for, because I don't know if I want to say that I'm in a relationship, but we'll work that out at a later time. But as of right now, it is very critical that I get someone in my household.
And remember, it's her household. So basically, you are a sucker. Basically, you'll be taking care of her kids. Basically, she is the one dictating to you. If you don't fall in line with the money, then guess what? If you decide to stay with her, she can kick you out of her home. And so guys, be very vigilant with these type of scenarios and also these situations, because you can lose everything. You can end up getting her pregnant. If you get her pregnant, then you can end up, guys, being on child support for a long, long time. And once again, child support, and many men don't mind paying child support if the child support is just. But when a woman forcibly put a man on child support, or put that man on child support for a kid that's not his, that's why men hate child support. We know that there are dusty men that are sorry and don't take care of their kids. Child support should be for men that don't take care of their kids and they're deadbeats. But in general, if they're noble men and they're striving to take care of their children, they're trying to work something out, I don't believe a man should be put on child support. I don't believe women should use that child support for their hair and their nails and other goofy stuff. That money is for that baby, not you. That's why it's called child support. So watch out for women like her, guys, because she could end up making you a rat. And, you're going to have a lot of old simps coming around, guys, because these simp servers will tell you, you got to, take one for the community, because once again, they said they know no better, and that's all they can do.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
Yeah, simps, I'll tell you they have no choice. They think what they're doing is right. They'll say they have no choice. And they'll say you should get with that woman, even though this woman could derail your life, because you are mesmerized by her buttocks and you're mesmerized by her breasts. And, you got to have more discipline than that. And I know it's tempting. And she's not a bad looking woman. She's cute, by the way. Nice, unless she got a nice shape. But you can't fall into that hornet's nest, because once you fall into that hornet's nest, you might not get out of it. And 20 years on child support, or 18 years on child support, it's not only hard for the mind, the body, and soul, but with the economy that's going downhill, you will be a slave for life. So guys, do not be spellbound by women like her. And many times once you put that seed in her, she's gonna be laughing. She's gonna be laughing all the way to the bank, man. She's gonna be laughing all the way, guys, to the bank. Keep listening.
Groceries high, gas high. Yeah, we'll work it out. Just come on.
A woman that friend zones a man after he expresses interest in having a romantic relationship with her, that then still allows, solicits, and expects that man to invest his vulnerability, time, and energy into her in the name of friendship.
Listen to what this wise woman said. His vulnerability, time, and attention. Remember, being a rat is being a slave to a woman. Resources, attention, and time. This woman is giving you guys free game. She's giving you free game. By the way, she's giving you free game. Listen to what she's saying.
That woman is a fuckboy.
Look, there goes some blood. It went down. Over my homie, my day one homie that I rock with. Y'all know who I rock with. That day one homie popped me over a shot that wasn't even his. A nigga shot me about the shot that wasn't even his.
Right, and it probably was Raekwon. Raekwon got mad because he was talking to his shawty, and Raekwon probably told him when he was talking to that woman that it's on his mom.
Yeah, we chain on the walls on my mom. Maybe bro, mom. Kill some of my mom, bro. They back me look like gang. That's on my mom. Gang. That's on my mom. Gang. That's on my mom.
Yeah. He probably said it's on his mama. And, those kind of men cause you a lot of pain. Now, Coach Greg Adams said something. He was talking about toxic women. I want you guys to look at this, because this kind of behavior, too, can make you a rat.
Toxic women love emotional men, meaning men who cannot get control of their emotion. And so you look at your women on Instagram, and some of these women that are saying, I want a scammer or a drug dealer, hell with the 9-to-5er. It's over, and it should be over for you. When I tell you I eliminate 80% of the women when I go out, 80% of the women are completely off limits to me, because I either know I'm not attracted to them. They're toxic. Like, there's a list of things that I would tell you. If the only possible way is if they came and knocked on my door and said, hey, I'm looking to entertain you tonight for free. Maybe I will think about it. But I can look and judge, and it's okay for me to do so, and say these people are unhealthy for me.
Rat behavior, and women like that will have you crying and also begging for peace of mind.
I finally just had enough, because there came a point where, to me, there was really only two options. It was either get divorced or put a shotgun in my mouth and call it a day. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of where I got. And so obviously I chose divorce over the shotgun, because I did not want to live another moment the way I was living. It's like, if this is all life is meant to be for me, and if this is all I am meant to be to her, to life, then I don't want to do it. Fuck this. I'd rather be dead.
Right. Dead marriages. Men that settled after they became rats. That's why I did this show for you guys. There are men that settle after being a rat. They gave that woman his resources. They gave the woman his attention. They gave that woman his time. And she said, before you can get sex, or if you're going to get continual sex, you got to settle. Once you settle with that said woman, then guess what? You became in a bad marriage. I mean, once you got in that bad marriage, then you're stuck. Marriage in itself is a very powerful and a very beautiful situation. It's beautiful. When you get a woman that's complimentary, a woman that honors you, a woman that's in control of her feelings, it's a powerful thing to be with a good woman. It's powerful. But the sad thing is, it's very hard to find, because many have not been conditioned or trained. Many of them are dealing with trauma. Many have been imprinted by multiple men, and you cannot break that imprint. It's very hard. I'm going to do a show on the imprint. Might even do a Patreon on it. I need to get me a Patreon soon, guys, so I can make Patreon exclusive content. So I will be doing a Patreon at some point. I might even start going to locals at some point as well, as I continue to grow my channel and as I continue to grow my brand. But you become a rat. You become a rat, and then once you get in her rat trap, guys, it's too late. And once you get in that rat trap, many of you guys are going to be doing this. And many guys are caught up in the rat cycle, that rat trap, and they're not going anywhere. They're constantly going over and over and over again in an ongoing circle where they're not getting anywhere. And once you get caught up in that trap, guys, it's too late. And once it's too late, you can't reverse the course that you've on and the course that you put yourself in. So by the time you try to get out of that rat trap or that rat race, it's too late. And that's why you got to change not only the law in your mind, but you got to change how you move, because if you don't learn how to adapt, then you're going to be a slave of some of these modern shenanigans. If you find you a good woman, a good righteous woman, then so be it. But they're hard to find. But if you do get her, you take care of her, you love her, you provide for her. But they're hard to find, guys, because many have been infected with liberal indoctrination.
Society's always telling women, know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But we act like men aren't supposed to know their worth. And people take issue when a man knows his worth. Men should know their worth just as much as a woman. You have to understand you have value here. You are just as important to this relationship as she is. So just as you need to give to her, she needs to give to you. It's a two-way street. And I think more importantly, you have to get to a point where you are not afraid if she walks away from you. Yeah, the reality is that men, especially good men, get caught up in the fear of losing her, that they do everything in their power to keep her, not realizing that now, rather than losing her, you're losing yourself.
All right, guys, Mandate says something. I'm going to sign off if anyone don't come up, but Mandate says something is very powerful. He said that the U.S. might have to put Russian wife school into practice to keep the birth rate up. I meet men of all races and on a regular now who are going through this. Yes, many men are going through it, sadly. and many is going to be to their demise. So, guys, once again, this has been a great show. If anyone want to come up and give their own story about being a rat, feel free to. But if not, we're 3 hours in. We'll probably be sounding off. But, guys, I want to heartily thank you guys again. I want to thank Ray Johnson. Ray Johnson always showing love. I want to thank Alton Prayer. Alton Prayer. Man, Alton Prayer, I'm going to start calling him Mr. Mint because Alton Prayer, man, Alton Prayer been showing me so much love all week, man. I don't know what to do. But I really appreciate it, Brother Alton Prayer. He was the sponsor of the stream. And once again, guys, shout out to Alton Prayer for being the #1 sponsor, not only for this stream, but Alton Prayer is the #1 sponsor, guys, for the week. All right, guys, so it's been a great show. It appears that no one's going to come on, and that's fine. But, guys, I really appreciate it once again. I got some more fire content coming up for you. I hope to have Al Breeze, the creator of Frustrated 3, coming on soon. We're going to talk about the new movie. And, guys, thank you. It's been a great week. I love you, brothers. I love the good sisters that are striving to do the right thing. And, guys, I want you to purify your mind. If you're struggling with mental health issues, if you're struggling with finding yourself, I need you guys to come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com.
Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways to the point it's led over into your social life, and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well.
I got an itch in my palm. My girl, she know she the one. I put the ice on her hand. I put some ice on her arm. See me shining in the light. Know you found me in the dark. Talking how you wanna leave. Girl, you made this far. Taking trips overseas. No, I won't be long. We came up from the weeds. Now it's top floor. All these big yes on her wrist. VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. I'ma spend it on her cause she all mine. Spend it on a challenge cause she all mine. There for my first cake, then we hit 100K. $500,000 on the way, then $1 million on the way. Eating good full plates, eating good say grace. Eat her up, get thanks. She got cake birthday. I can't waste no way, I can't waste no play. My girl, whoa, whoa, something like the baddest chick. My girl, whoa, whoa, came from the rags to rich. Hit the road running, I had to tell her I had to get it. She understood, but she spoiled, so when she get mad, she dip. All these big yes on her wrist, VVS is on her neck. Make it spin and I don't stress. When I make it stretch. Double back to back then. Down broke, now we rich. Spend it on her, let her spin. Down with me to the end. That my best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend. best friend. That my best friend. That my best friend.